Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The Sunday Session is brought to you by More Beer, who has just opened their East Coast distribution center and is now shipping orders from California and Pennsylvania. Check them out at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia.
That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No.
We're going to teabag fight.
Yeah.
You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right. Hello out there in Radio Land, Interwebs Land.
Oh.
Welcome to The Session. Had a great weekend. It's a Monday session because we predicted we would all be hungover after Chad's wedding on Saturday. And I think the prediction was fairly accurate.
Nice.
Although I felt okay. I might have been able to do a show. But
well, you didn't get up first thing in the morning like I did.
That's true. What time did you have to get up and leave the hotel?
7:30. I still don't know what time we went to bed.
Me neither.
7:15.
You know,
it would be close to that.
It was late.
It was dark.
Okay, I'm glad it wasn't light.
It was fun though. A great wedding. Our own little Chad is all grown up and married.
He's no fun anymore.
Yeah, it's over. Chad and
I broke up a long time ago, so it's not as much painful as it might seem.
That's true. You lost him to his wife before the rest of us.
Well, just to a job, basically.
Yeah.
Then he found the wife.
She has bigger boobies than Nicole.
Marginally.
Yeah, not by much. It was a fun time. It was a good wedding, and I enjoyed myself. I think Chad enjoyed himself, and it's nice to see him moving up in the world. You know,
he married up.
All right. We got a lot to get to today. I want to thank our sponsor, More Beer, our good friends over at morebeer.com. You can go check them out. They've been our sponsor for a hell of a long time. Our first sponsor. They've stayed with us this whole time. They've grown with us. They now have an East Coast distribution facility. I didn't see that coming in 2005 when we were just starting this thing out, and they probably didn't either. But now you can get your shipments faster than ever if you're on the East Coast by ordering from More Beer. They'll send it right from their facility out there. So thanks to More Beer. Go over to morebeer.com and check them out. Tell them I sent you. And
that'll get them far.
In fact, I think you did. Not just pat ourselves in the back, but they're big out east because we're big out there,
Could be. Yeah. I do think it's been a symbiotic growth. I would say the same about the Homebrewers Association, our friends at the American Homebrewers Association, that I think our growth together, ours and theirs, is pretty inseparable.
Well, it's just all to do with the beer, the growth of home brewers as a hobby. I mean,
yeah.
That's true. The East Coast has been really good for more beer pretty much for the last 10, 15 years.
Forever, huh?
Yeah. Long time.
We had our biggest showing just in getting close to the East Coast. There was our Philadelphia BNA 8, and I think we had more listeners come out and see us at the conference. So a lot of East Coast love for home brew.
Well, and I think, not to be too frank, but I think it's about time. The East Coast has really just kind of been more of a burden on anybody, the rest of the country. And, think about it. How many freaking storms do they have? And how many times a year do we have to hear, oh, it's so hot on the East Coast, it's almost 90. Get over it.
Yeah.
And suck it up and let's go. And every other kind of thing that you can say to kind of be a man.
Right.
Be a man, East Coast.
Yeah.
We don't call you Beast Coast for nothing.
Right.
Let's go. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Public service announcement from JP.
There you are.
Are you ready to secede?
To secede?
From the East Coast?
Hell yeah.
Where would the dividing line be?
Between the East Coast and the rest of the free world?
Yeah, I'm interested in knowing where you would just...
Sacramento.
Yeah. I had a feeling of that. I would at least had you gone to at least Reno.
And probably not even all the way to the border east. You'd probably also cut off Modesto.
Yes, that's absolutely true. It would be not necessarily one line, but more like a squiggly squaggly. Yeah.
That certainly cuts out places like Modesto and Fresies.
Yeah, and Reno. Yeah, the East Coast can have Reno for sure.
We'll keep Tahoe.
Yes, we can keep Tahoe.
Tahoe will just be a little blip out of there, and no Northern California, none of that.
No, none of that.
I like Tato.
Tato.
That's where I'm going for my bachelor party when I tie the knot.
No, that's right.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
KTG caught the bouquet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
First, what happened? I was lucky enough to be in Chad's wedding, so I was there for the rehearsal the night before, and Chad did speeches about all the guys in the groomsmen, and all he did was call me out for being the only one. The one with the longest girlfriend had a girlfriend for the longest time.
Oh. What a dick move that was, I thought.
And not engaged yet. So that happened on the Friday night, which got all the guys and the girls giving me shit. You know what I discovered, and I never knew this before. Dudes actually kind of get pat on the back. Like if I say, "Hey, I'm a slow mover," I don't know, I'm fine, everything's going great. Dudes go, "Yeah,
hold your ground there, bro." Yeah.
Women get sympathy. Like Kate, every time it came up, like throughout the weekend, they go,
"Yeah,
oh." They'll be like, they'll start out kind of smiling about it because Chad kind of made the joke, but then they'll say, "How long have you been together?" Which I don't know how long that is, but apparently it's been a while. And then they go, "Oh." And so I didn't realize that I get like high fives. They get sympathy.
I didn't actually see the bouquet toss. Did the other girls move out of the way?
I don't know. So the speech happens Friday, and then on Saturday, Kate the Great catches the goddamn bouquet.
I mean, she has a good
foot
over everybody, and she has a long arm.
She's fighting down the 14-year-old.
And she's desperate. Let's see.
Well, and come to think of it, she was wearing like 12-inch heels that night too.
She had her game face on.
You don't think that she wasn't anticipating catching that stupid thing. She dressed for success. I remember looking out across, because we were all at the bar.
Firing her
and all the single ladies, come on, let's go. She's like rallying everybody, and then you see Aaron
so that
go,
it looks legit.
Right, 3, 2, 1, boo, and then it goes pretty far back, and all these little hands are waving like jazz hands, and suddenly these arms just go.
Right, and by the way, not before both elbows took out the broads next to her. I think.
Right, she didn't quite catch it as much as she lunged for it.
She cleared some space and then made a big jump. Yeah.
She's like Shaq catching a rebound.
Right,
she just
not my house. It's my house.
She was boxing out.
Yes.
Or then you had that plus the newly engaged Schumann there.
Yeah,
and Nikki talking his girlfriend.
Schumann's been with his girlfriend for like 4 weeks, and he's engaged, and so
I'm pretty sure they have 2 kids now.
Yeah, I think they might have that. They have a house.
How did she propose to him?
I don't know. With another dude.
I heard the story.
Yeah.
You want?
Was it like they drove to Treasure Island or something?
They drove to Treasure Island. He had an amazing amount of foresight for a man like Schumann. He made some story up about how he had to go pick up an amp at his friend's house in Treasure Island after they played a show in the city.
How stupid is she? Nobody lives on Treasure Island.
Right. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. And then they go to this whole thing, and, it's a nice view of the bridge because apparently, architecture gets all the women hot. And,
Right.
And then he gets on one knee and goes, so, what do you think? Will you be the luckiest woman in the world?
That's how he asked her.
Yeah. And then she told him to shut up.
Oh, boy.
And then she
Shut
said
up
yes.
Let's get that amplifier.
Right. Yeah. Are we done yet?
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of a duality where he made an effort, he thought about it, it was a really important thing, and then he just basically crapped
Made a
on
joke.
it. Right, yeah.
He just did a Schumann.
Yeah.
Right place, right time, wrong deal.
Yeah, so now pressure's on.
Yeah.
What, are you going to make an announcement here tonight?
No.
Has it already been?
I don't see what the big deal is. I don't know what everybody's rush is.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Obviously not you.
I mean, why rush? I mean, I don't know.
Rush is a band, and that's all it should be.
My dad's had like 13 of the things. I got plenty
You
of
better
time.
get started.
Yeah, I mean, us Crosleys. Plenty of time to find the first wife.
God, all the way home, Taryn, all I heard was all the things that happened at Chad and Aaron's wedding that she would do or not do and the reasons why. And I'm just like sitting there in silence for almost an hour just driving.
You got to be doing some yeah-yeahs, right?
Every once in a while.
Right,
but she's just like, and, it was just very Pinteresty. And so I saw a lot of the stuff and I thought it was really cute. But I would do this and I would do this. And I, blah, 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 blah. Chill.
I think it's funny that she didn't notice the earbuds in your ear and you laughing at Phil Henry or whatever the hell you're listening to.
He's saying, yeah. And in his head he's going, yeah, are you done?
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yes, but I didn't want to ruin because that's she's like, I don't know, I like to go to weddings because I like to see what other people do. And
well, she better
and
find
what I'm
someone who's going to propose to her then.
Right. Well, that's what I said.
Time to start over. I'm thinking.
Yeah. I go, I'm sure your husband will figure something out. It'll be fine.
I haven't been to a wedding in a long time because people my age don't get remarried. When they get remarried, they go to Vegas or something.
Right.
I'm waiting for the second round where the kid's starting to get married, and then I have to go to those.
Yeah.
Well, we went through the Olin Schultz and Chris Graham cycle, and then this is a new crop coming up now.
Yeah.
New crop's about done as far as I can see. Maybe Moscow.
Would the new crop would be dusted?
So Justin's going to get married in Reno?
Yeah. Probably to a buddy.
Hey, friend.
All right, let me get through some quick announcements because we do have a lot to do. We've got Michael Jordan on the show tonight. He's from Boxing Cat Brewery in Shanghai, China. We're going to be talking to him in just about a half an hour. And he's an expat. He brewed all over the U.S. first and even spent some time in Denmark and before he ended up in China where he's brewing at Boxing Cat Brewery.
I got to know how.
Yeah. It isn't interesting. If you were to look at the map, I think it looks a lot like your map of seceding from the rest of the country. It's very zigzaggy, and he sounds like a good guy and an experienced brewer. So if you got brewing questions, Susie is in the chat room tonight. Just hit the chat button on the homepage. Don't use the chat on our live stream page where you watch the video because no one's there monitoring that. You use the same old chat we've always used. That's where all the listeners hang out on thebrewingnetwork.com, and you click chat. And Susie's in there. She'll pass the questions on over to me, and we'll get them answered for you the best we can. I did fix the link to to watch the live video. You no longer have to listen to me read a 700 character URL. You now just go to thebrewingnetwork.com/TV.
Whoa!
BrewingNetwork.com/TV. That'll take you over to our live stream page, and then you can click on whatever show it might be, whether it's this show or Brew Strong or Dr. Homebrew. You'll see it loud and clear when you get over there. Click on that, and you can watch our live video feed. You could also just click the picture of a TV on the homepage. If you're not too good at reading and things, just click the TV logo.
If you're an iPhone user.
It'll take you right over there. Northern California Homebrew Festival is this weekend up in lovely Dobbins, California, and I know Tasty and I will be there.
Oh yeah. I'm going to do the try. I'm going to be nude this year, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that's Burning Man where they did it. I'm sorry, that's the wrong festival.
No, I went nude last year.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice.
A bunch of us jumped in the lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, later on Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
afternoon.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
It got
Oh God,
it got a little gnarly over there.
Well, yeah, the water was cold. I was embarrassing a bit, I guess.
Yeah, fuck it.
Whatever.
I'm not looking to get
got
married.
enough pubes; it just covers everything up.
That's right.
I don't know what's in that bush.
Yeah. Another great announcement for you. But come see Tasty and I out at NCHF. I know the Woods are coming out there, and you can give KTG shit about not being engaged and stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You can send her wishes.
Sorry.
It was like her and Nicole talking about how they were the, quote, be-in spinsters.
Oh, sorry.
And that they're never going to get married and all the kind of nonsense that goes along with it.
I say they're the lucky ones.
That's what I say, too.
Okay, Winter Brews Festival. The date is official. Saturday, January 25th, back in Todos Santos Plaza, the Brewing Network's 5th annual Winter Brews Festival. It'll be from 12 to 4 on Saturday, January 25th at Todos Santos in Concord. Stay tuned for more details on breweries, live entertainment, and ticket prices. So that stuff will be all be happening soon. We're getting a jump on it this year. Dr. Homebrew is in iTunes. Just posted a brand new show today. Just search Dr. Homebrew in iTunes. It's also on the homepage. If you click the On Tap tab, and you'll see all the shows and show descriptions there. You can download them. Great show. It's doing wonderful things.
Thank you very much.
Amazon. You can support us by clicking the Amazon button on our homepage, and a lot of you are doing that. You don't pay any more money for your products or anything else. You just shop as normal, but they give us a little commission because we sent you their way. Do we have an Amazon product of the week, Moscow?
Yeah, we sure do. It's Essential Daryl Hall and John Oates, the original recording remastered. An audio CD that somebody bought for $13.94. I have to assume that is because of our promotion of Hall & Oates on this show.
Well, I thought JP already had that CD, so I don't know why you'd be buying it.
Well, I had it. I found it online, and then I felt bad, so I wanted to give them money.
And they bought did they buy the physical disc?
Yeah,
from Amazon.
That's right, audio CD from Amazon.
People do that still.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, yeah. And
what do you do with it then? Does it go somewhere?
You play Frisbee with it out the car window, I think.
Then you just go download it, and I feel guilty.
It has all the Hall & Oates stuff on there that you're looking for, like She's Gone and, When the Morning Comes.
She's gone!
This is worth just Google imaging the cover of this album.
And any Hall & Oates album is worth Google imaging.
That's true.
Great. That's a fantastic product of the week.
Yeah, thanks for buying it.
All right, subscribe and join the BN Army just by donating. Click the BN Army dog tag on the homepage. If you become a recurring monthly donor, then you are signed up for the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, and that makes you eligible to win $100. Plus, JP sends you updates on new merchandise before anybody else gets it, and tickets to Winter Brews Festival before anybody gets them, and tickets to our anniversary parties, and all that kind of stuff if you're a recurring donor. And we'd love it if you did that because it helps us out. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and
Facebook.
Send your show ideas over to Scott the Jew, Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. He's doing a great job taking your ideas. I know that's how we ended up with our guest tonight, Michael Jordan from Boxing Cat Brewery. Send your feedback over to feedback at thebrewingnetwork.com. And that should do it for our announcements. I don't think I missed anything, did I?
Twitter game?
Feedback.
Do we have a Twitter? Well, I'm doing feedback after our Michael Fairbrother discussion. We're going to talk Braggot here in just a moment. With Michael. But we do have a Twitter game tonight, don't we?
We do.
Twitter game is brought to you tonight by 5 Star Chemical and Supply. I love those guys at 5 Star. And I'll tell you, before they were even a supporter of us, we were a supporter of them because we just love 5 Star products. And I know all of us here in the studio use them, and we've been using them for years and years. And we're just happy to have them on board as an official sponsor of the Brewing Network. And particularly, they sponsor Dr. Homebrew.
That's correct.
It would not exist without them. So there's 2 people you can thank. It's 5 Star and JP.
That's right, for once.
Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. So Twitter game brought to you by 5 Star. What do we have?
Well, as you mentioned, we went to Chad's wedding over the weekend, and as is customary, you're supposed to get the bride and groom a present.
Shit.
Yeah, well,
a gift at the registry.
Yeah, well, it's something that I've already done. What did the BN get Chad for his wedding present? The Twitter game. I would like to know what everyone thinks. What our level of decorum is around here as far as celebrating our friends.
I chipped in on that, right?
Yes.
Good
question.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Thank you.
Almost as good as my Twitter game last week.
Well, but better.
Yeah. All right, that's our Twitter game. What do you do? Send it over to Brewing Network at twitter.com?
Yes, go to Twitter. Don't email me or chat me or whatever.
All right.
Twitter.
It's called a Twitter game.
That's right.
You tweet.
All right, we got our old friend Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery on the line. Michael, how are you, buddy?
Good, Justin. How about yourself?
I'm doing real well, actually. Thank you. And
we should change that.
Did you, Michael? You updated your Skype photograph. You're tired of me making fun of you as being scary.
You got that right.
You look like a professional now. I'm not afraid of you anymore.
A professional what?
Well, he still looks rough and tough, but he's got a glass of mead in his hand. He's got some barrels behind him. He's a handsome fella now. So.
Yeah, drinking a lot.
Yeah. Now, as you know, listeners, we've been talking to Michael for some time now about meads, and we've discussed braggot a little bit, but it occurred to me this week that I still don't know shit about braggots. And so...
just one more thing.
I mean, no. And so, I've never made one, and I have had one of Michael's, so I know we've discussed it briefly, and I thought we'd just talk a little bit about them, and let's just start by explaining to me once again what a braggot is, Michael.
So a braggot's a mead that's made with malt. You want to find a balance between the honey and the malt character so that you get a really nice, at least 51% of the fermentables from honey. And that's a challenge for most brewers because they're used to just throwing everything into the brew kettle. And when you're going to make a braggot, you really want to add the honey in after the fact. So after you've knocked off the heat so you're not killing the honey so much. And you can get a really diverse flavor profile that's not quite beer-like, not quite wine-like, but just kind of this little mecca in between. And the hard part for us commercially is we can't legally make them. So, I don't even get to play around with them on a commercial scale at all.
Really? Oh, why is that? Because you have to be a brewery or a winery?
Yeah, we chose the direction to go as a winery versus some of the other meaderies in the country that went the direction as a brewery. Now, the easy part for us is we can make wines up to 23% alcohol with no challenges, versus if we were to go the brewery route, you could make stronger beers, but here in New Hampshire, you can't make a strong beer that's above 12, 13% without getting into a lot of trouble and going through a lot of hoops to make it happen.
I see. Okay. So to do it as a home brewer, is it safe to say that it's kind of like brewing a session beer when you're making your malt bill? It would be a lower alcohol coming from grain, and then you're adding to your alcohol content, like you said, after. Is it after the boil or after the fermentation?
Yeah, after the boil.
After the boil,
so
okay.
Once you've gotten it cooled down, you could pretty much add your honey in. You can imagine the one I made for the Brewing Network's party. I made a Russian Imperial Stout beer. So
that's
you
right.
could do it with sessions, or you could go extreme like I like to do as a home brewer. And I added a 60-pound bucket of honey into a 20-gallon batch of Russian Imperial.
Wow.
So this took several years to get to where it was drinkable. And, I think it was a little more than just drinkable, but I'd like to really push the envelope.
So would I blend the honey in the kettle after the boil, or do I wait after some fermentation has occurred? What's the recommended process?
Yeah, I would certainly add it in after knockoff of heat so that you can just dilute the honey in very easily so you don't have a big blob of honey at the bottom of the brew kettle or the mashed or your fermenter.
Okay.
So, add it in, whirlpool it in, get it all nice and ready to go. A little oxygen right then and there isn't going to hurt the system so that you can grow your yeast. It's going to suck in all that oxygen and just really make a great beer. Or braggot.
Got it. JP, have you ever brewed a braggot?
I've never have.
You haven't?
I never have. I think I've only even tasted maybe 3, and the one that Michael made at NHC was one of them.
Oh, it's so good.
It's not something that you see normally.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
I don't know either, because it seemed, in fact, the process is sounding similar to making a Belgian quad or something too, right? You'd brew
sugar is meat.
Yeah, you'd add sugar. You're just adding another sugar. It's just a different kind of sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So you're trying to knock out at least 50% of the points that you have from honey. So the most of the competitions where I get to judge at, I seem to always get on the braggot table, and I've seen everything from Russian Imperials to session beers to Dusseldorf's Alts, IPAs, you really want the honey to kind of showcase and not dominate. So it's different than just like a honey wheat or a honey beer where you get a little honey character.
Yeah.
You kind of want the majority of the body to come from the honey. So you might see a little more viscosity to the batch, and you may see a little different, some judges don't even know how to judge them, which is really kind of terrifying if you're an entrant, where they don't even know what they're trying to get or what they're trying to see. So I've seen well-balanced braggots that are, beautiful honey character that showcases clear and through, and you get a hint of the beer style, and the judges will ding it and say, not enough honey. I'm like, well, you're not trying to make this syrup bomb. You're trying to make something drinkable that people will enjoy. So you really want to kind of balance and find the in-between.
Okay.
Like I had what the hell was it? It was like a gingerbread, so it was like probably category 23. So it had ginger, it had the malt. It was probably a box style with the honey in it, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was literally probably one of the best braggots I've ever had.
Wow. And just from tasting the meads that you've sent us, that all of that complex character that can come out of honey, the floral notes and sometimes even earthy notes and all of that stuff, I would imagine you're still trying to showcase that in a braggot, even though you're using malt as well.
Right, and you can pick some malts or some honeys that have really got some malty character to them. So there's some malts. There's some honey that has some really dark malty character to it, like buckwheat, or I got some honey from Arizona that's pecan blossom, and it's really dark and chewy and almost caramel-like. So I could picture putting that with a porter or a stout, and just seeing the honeys just showcase and accentuate the malt character that's added to it.
Nice. All right, so then what about hops? Now, you mentioned that you've even had an IPA type braggot, but I would worry about the competition between what you're trying to showcase with the honey and what you might be showcasing with hops.
Yeah, it gets delicate. I found the best braggots that I've ever judged to be, very low profile hops like Scottish ales, the box and malt, porters and such, not American porters, but more English style. So you kind of really going light on the hop profile. But I've also had, really, really hoppy double IPA style braggots that are just kind of like, whoa, the honey just kind of sneaks in and supports that spicy note from the hops in such a way that you're trying to think, how on earth could somebody add a little more complexity to a double IPA?
Right.
Well, along comes a double IPA braggot, and you're like, holy shit, here's one.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that makes sense to me. I would like to try a beer like that. Especially after, now, I know it's not an IPA, but your Russian Imperial Stout one was so amazing, having come from a big beer like that. Now it kind of makes sense. I think honey would really complement some of the hops I like.
I think so, yeah. You get maybe a little citrusy, maybe even a tropical thing going on, and kind of a lighter flavor honey that might work out pretty well.
Sure.
Or any spicy hop.
Okay.
And I'll throw this out there. I do have a clone of the one I brought to you guys last year that I'm willing to bring out next year.
Oh, nice.
We're getting down to the last of it, so it's kind of something I'm willing to do for you guys because I love you so much.
I would love that.
But nothing wrong with that. But
not at all. Listen, that was such a great
segue
beverage. It just was amazing. Yeah,
it was really. I would like to taste and see what a year does to that thing.
Yeah.
It's been since we were down at Philly. I can't tell you how many BN Army folks have come up into the meadery in the last few weeks.
Really?
It's almost like there's this cloud of, holy shit, I got to drive all the way up to New Hampshire to meet these guys. And we've had guys drive in from Chicago all the way up from Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
That's great.
And it's nonstop.
You guys are getting the what I call the 21st Amendment experience, where our listeners for years have just been coming to San Francisco, and their first stop is 2-1A because they hear Sully talking about the beer all the time, So that's great to see. And plus, I mean, it's a little trek up to you, too, so I like to see the people are making it up there.
Yeah, what's nice is we're on the way to Heady Topper, the Alchemist. So as everybody's driving north up 93 to get to Vermont to go get some of this great beer, they're like either on the way up or the way back going, I just got to stop off at Moonlight Meadery, and
Perfect.
we're just a few seconds off the highway and then make the trip in.
That's great. Nice. That's great. All right, well, I have one last... JP helped me out with some good questions here, and I see one on his list that I wanted to ask, and that's about carbonating a braggot. Now, I know we've talked about different styles of beers here, but is there any kind of a standard of how a braggot should be carbonated?
Well, that's a good question. So I've seen them still slightly carbonated and super carbonated. The ones that are usually a little over carbonated come across as a little too dry, a little too probably spicy from the poor brewer not knowing how to control the fermentation or having too much residual sweetness.
Okay.
The better ones I've seen and judged as a judge tend to come across as still, so that you're still not trying to over dominate the profile too much, and it's just trying to really kind of showcase it more as a mead. It's a delicate balance. I still go back to that gingerbread bock that I had that was just perfect, and it was carbonated but not over carbonated, and it wasn't quite not carbonated, so it was right in the middle, perfect all around. And the flavors can, the carbonation can make a mead taste a little lighter, a little more crisp on the tongue versus, when it's still, your listeners really need to balance how sweet they want to make these things finish and keep that in perspective.
Okay.
So you can't just just say, okay, I'm cramming a 20-pound bucket of honey into a 5-gallon batch of mead and everybody will love it because it's a super sweet. Judges, if you can't drink it, nobody's going to drink it. And that has to be the starting point, which is trying to find a place where when you're tasting it, you can see, okay, here's where I could pair this with, here's what I like this with. And if everybody else in the world goes, it sucks, either stand up and say, fuck you, I like it better,
right.
or give it and say, I can see where you're coming from and cave in your position. Because, I can never say highly enough that, the judge's input should never cause any of your brewers to ever say, you know what, I can't make this work. If you love it, you may take a while to find somebody else who loves it with you.
But if you love it, it's working.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. And I can tell you, I've had comments that have come back on score sheets to make me look at it and go, Jesus, maybe I ought to hang this thing up. But, I never did as a home brewer, and now that I'm a professional, and even though some of my best-selling meads, like my Kurtz Apple Pie, has never won a single medal ever commercially,
yeah,
fuck it. I get so many medals in cash from people buying it.
Right.
I can care less what some other person's opinion is on it at this point.
Sure. That is fantastic advice.
Because you can see it in people's eyes when they try it for the first time and they light right up like a little baby trying to taste something for the first time.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah, absolutely. Good
you guys
call.
got the new ad running yet? I mean, I really love it. I can't wait till you guys got it running.
I'm going to run it tonight. I know we're making, I think, another adjustment for you, but we're running it anyway. I think it was just some minor tweak that we have to do. But we're running your new ad because I like it too. So I thought, F it, I'm putting it in rotation now.
Yeah, sorry about the bombs there.
No worries.
I know we're on the internet. The other thing I wanted to share with your listeners, and I know they're worldwide because we've just gotten our first commercial order this week from Australia, and I don't even know what to tell you guys. I mean, there's nothing I've done other than make great mead to get it worldwide, and the fact that we have 100 cases going off to Queensland, Australia this week is just, epic for me. And
100 cases.
I owe you guys everything. So I really appreciate all the support and help.
That's great to hear. We have a lot of listeners in Australia, and I'm loving to hear that they're responding to you that way. And it's no bullshit when we're on here. When we're on here talking about how good this meat is, you'll see. I'm sure, Michael, that you're also getting. By the way, everyone was right. That stuff is amazing. So good for you, and thanks to the BN Army.
Yeah, the Kinetic guys out in California just ordered 18 cases of mead for their brew pub.
Oh, wonderful.
And that's almost 20% of the shipment that went out to California. So, I mean, the California guys and gals are really starting to pick it up. And, Push and JP and I were tossing around taglines, and we came up with girly meads and manly names. Or girly names and manly meads.
There you go. Yeah. Love it. Great. Well, you'll hear it in the ad tonight, folks. Yeah. And I know that Michael means it when he says thanks to you for all the support. And we thank you also.
We're trying to figure out a way to put together a discount on our website for purchases for the BNN Army. And I can tell you my website wholesaler or web, whatever they are, the marketeer, has got some challenges, but we're going to figure it out before the holidays.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And believe me, you don't have to explain to me about website challenges. Oh, my God. It's a constant thorn in my side. So just let us know. I'm sure that the listeners would be just stoked to use a discount. But all right.
Yeah, we're also looking for an excuse to come out to California. So if you guys could think of anything where we might be able to come out and rock the world with you guys, let us know.
January 25th.
You know, we've got our Winter Brews Festival coming up in January.
And Doc's thirsty.
And if you're distributed here, then I would say there's no reason it wouldn't be legal for you to pour at our festival, right?
Very cool. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, well, I'll get you info about that, but it's listeners, once again, this could be a great chance for you to come taste mead. Saturday, January 25th. It's a little bit of a head start on it here, but we'd love to have you, Michael. That'd be great.
Yes.
Lock me in. I'm coming.
Okay,
not
beautiful.
Biblically, but,
boy.
Love it. All right, Michael, thanks for the info.
All right, guys, take care.
Cheers. There you go. Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery, and I love his passion, too, man. He's excited about the mead, and you guys buying it.
Hell yeah.
Should ask for a commission.
Oh, I can imagine the line at his booth at Winterfest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, once all these conquered Martinez Martians get their hands on some mead.
Yeah, but we get some drunk broads, too.
That's going to be amazing.
Some drunk Martian broads. That'll be a good time. Okay. I think I got time to do feedback.
It's relatively short.
Really?
Yeah, and I'd like to get it done because we got other stuff to do, too.
Yeah, get through that bullshit. Right. Don't even bother making me happy.
Oh, my God! You've got mail.
Take it.
All right, feedback's brought to you today by Austin Homebrew Supply, our old friends in Austin. I'm going to be out in Austin soon, actually, in just a couple weeks, I think. Another fucking wedding.
I love Austin.
One of Kate's friends getting married.
One of her friends.
It's going to
go. That's going to be piling up. Going to be the shit bump of the whole thing. Yes.
Well, while I'm there, you can be sure I'm going to go check out our friends at Austin Homebrew Supply, and you should too. Go to austinhomebrew.com, and they're good people over there, and they've been taking good care of us. We'll go check them out. All right. What do I have in the news today, in the feedback today? Carver writes in response to listener Sean that wanted to stop listening because of the Adam and Eve ads that you do. I have some recommended reading for him. 1. How to Brew by John Palmer. It's full of great brewing knowledge. 2. The Holy Bible. It's like How to Brew for Christianity. It's full of direct communication from God in which he tells you not to be a judgmental douche nozzle. I never read that interpretation. Was that the King James version?
It's more of the King Joseph version.
I see.
It's lesser known.
Oh, he goes on to say I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure that's his sentiment.
Yeah.
Also, he should probably stop watching sporting events and primetime programming, as Trojan, KY, Viagra, and Cialis all advertise on television. We all know that anything that enhances sexual pleasure is of the devil and shall cause your soul to burn. I really don't like Christians sometimes. I consider myself one, but douches like Sean make the rest of us look bad. That being said, I won't be listening anymore because you choose to employ a soulless ginger, Jesus-hating Jew. No, I'm kidding. Moscow's rad and does a great job. Cheers from Carver. Well, I don't know, Carver. It's a strong position we take on old Sean, but I suppose he took a strong position on us, too, and what are you going to do? We promote porn.
Position strong, I guess.
Could he be in the lost soldier category at the end of the year?
Yeah, Sean?
Yeah.
Fallen soldier?
Yes.
Absolutely. Grainman writes in, Dear Asshats, I've been listening to the session now for the last several years and have brewed all grain for over 4 years. Do you have any idea the impact the show has had on my brewing?
Yes.
No.
Well, he says, of course you don't, because if you did, then you would be me.
I am you.
JP, did you write this? It's sort of a weird roundabout that you would do.
No, I didn't, but thank you.
From fermentation to mashing to kegging and serving beer, the insight in the show has given me fuck it.
We did a good job, thanks. Next.
Infinitely.
Good enough. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Brain Man. All right. Ass hats. I need the straight dope from Homebrewing Champions, and I'll take Nate's information as well. Okay, here you go, guys. Question: how serious is yeast autolysis? The members of my homebrew group are so fucking busy or lazy that sometimes we don't rack our beers off the trube in the carboy for a couple of weeks after fermentation is ended. Does that matter? And if it does, what are the consequences in terms of off flavors? That's from Dr. Mao.
How could it not matter? It's gotta matter, right?
It doesn't matter enough that it matters.
Really?
It matters some.
No,
but
it
2 weeks
doesn't.
is
I get lazy sometimes, and they're in there for 3 weeks and stuff, and I'm just as worried about it as he is.
You are?
Oh yeah,
but you never notice it.
But
as long as they have something to eat besides themselves,
yeah, and
that's a long time. They're fine,
and they're going to go dormant before they start dying. And they have glycogen reserves and everything,
yeah.
So. Not as bad as you think, as long as you're not got that carboy at 80 degrees. So if it's not as bad as you think.
So is there a cap on this? I seem to remember me asking this question with my lazy brewing 2 years ago, and that 3 weeks, even a month sitting on it isn't all that terrible.
As Chris White would say, it depends.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 months is the thing I had in mind. Would be like,
I wouldn't go over a month. But I worry about it after. Oh God, I should get that out of there. Oh God.
But you never taste the difference.
Week 2. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No,
you don't. I mean, personally.
No.
So, on your own beer. Okay.
As long as you got it at a decent temperature, the yeast hasn't been overstressed, you gave it a good pitch, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you're pretty good.
Okay. All right. There you go. He says, "P.S. I have a message for all the people who don't think JP is funny."
You're right.
Suck a dick.
That's right.
Wow.
Do all of those things. Every one of those.
What if does that? I wonder if we think you're funny sometimes, but not all the time. That's fine? Do I not have to suck a dick?
You don't. Well, you specifically have to, no matter what.
I have to do it.
Sometimes it's fine. I'm all right.
No,
with
but when he bombs, it's still funny.
Yeah,
because he bombed. But then when he hit the home run, it's just gold.
Oh, it is.
Look, sometimes entertainers fail. Okay. Sometimes writers fail.
Speaking of wieners, I got a question for you guys.
We were
What got serious?
Wienerology?
I was waiting for you to ask.
Wow, that was a blunt segue, wasn't it?
Just curious if this has ever happened to you. So, you ever eat like a burrito?
Like a burrito or a burrito?
Eat a burrito.
Okay.
And you got a little salsa on the burrito, and it gets kind of messy. You get salsa all over your hands.
Yeah.
And then you wipe off your hands with a napkin.
I know where this is going.
And everything's fine. And I'm talking. I'm not even talking like mild. I'm not even talking like heavy salsa here.
Just a mild sauce.
So your hands are fine. Your mouth's not. Everything's fine. And then and you wiped off the napkin. Everything's dry. And you inadvertently
capsation
scratch your balls.
Mm-hmm.
Or.
I don't know. That's all. That's my question. You inadvertently scratch your balls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to rub out some knuckle children.
No, I didn't. No. Well, I might have, but I scratch. Hypothetically,
right.
Scratch your balls.
A friend,
and then they start burning quite a bit. Anybody ever? It ever happened? Anybody?
No, it's never happened.
Nobody ever scratched their balls after spilling salsa on their hands.
Well, it's not that. It's just the lack of open sores that the salsa would get into.
One time in Mexico, my balls were burning.
Well, that's what I would have thought, JP.
Get a girl with a bigger butt.
I think. So, are you saying I just have extremely sensitive balls?
Probably. I don't. I've never had
I'd
that
have
problem.
to try it. Give me some pace.
Yeah.
Well, next time you guys have a little salsa, dip your hands in it, but then dry it off.
It's
not there anymore.
Right.
I'm going to throw right on those babies.
Well,
but I would.
Did you actually clean under your fingernails, or did you get the capsation off of those too?
No, I mean, I don't know.
You're not scratching with the back of your hand, which you washed.
What, did you break skin when you were scratching? Or how big
no,
were you?
nothing. It was a minor.
Just a general fluffing of the balls.
It was a minor, I had a tiny itch. I did one. It was like a 2-second scratch, and about 10 seconds later, a little fire down there.
I could see you doing that little funky dance, just going. Ow, ow, ow.
Well, luckily I was home. I went and had to use a handy wipe on the old nutsack. I mean. I wasn't excruciating or anything, but it was uncomfortable. Really? No one's ever had...
What you experience is completely normal. Balls are porous and absorptive.
Right.
And it would happen to anybody. Everyone in here is just pretending like it hasn't.
That's what I thought.
Literally, I've never ever happened.
I've never had any.
No, not me either.
Any heat applied to
I'm
my
pretty
balls.
protective of my
A
ball
Schumann
sack.
brother told me a similar story, although his I would expect it to happen. I wouldn't expect it to happen with me with a little mild salsa, but he was helping a friend literally like cut habanero peppers for like a while. They were cooking some big dish, and then he went and took a leak or something.
That was
without
where you were
washing his
going.
hands.
Yeah.
He said he spent 45 minutes in the shower
washing his dick
with cold water.
Cold water just
running
because
on.
it hurt.
Yeah.
See, but water doesn't help. He should have done milk or salt or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, water
Salt my balls.
Water spreads the oils around.
Oh,
yeah. You get
handy wipe worked
at that
for me,
point.
but it was mild.
Technu probably would have been the best thing.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the stuff for poison oak.
Oh. They're so sensitive, these balls.
It might be. I'm reading a lot about ball cancer. And sensitive nutsack is one of the precursors to that. So you should probably get it checked out.
To ball cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are so fucked.
Great. Now I got to go get
You and
looked.
Moscow are just next in line for ball cancer.
That doesn't include a prostate check, does it?
No, they don't really check for
Oh, we're doing that later in the show, right?
Yeah. I just went to the doctor for it, so I know I watched what he did with me basically, so I can help you.
I can show you how.
You want to check for me?
Well, I would. I don't want to. I mean, who does, right? I mean, really, but I would do it
as a friend, as a bro,
right?
Actually, Tasty's the only one that really needs to be checked.
Is that right?
I think we should all check him.
Wait a minute. Aren't you of age that you're supposed to be checked too, Doc? Isn't it like...
I'm not old.
All right. Well, I'm going to go get checked.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get the Roto-Rooter thing, too.
Oh, I had that once.
I need to get it.
It's no good.
Yeah.
Remember I told you, and the doctor, she made it sound like, when she was done, she was like, oh. And I was like, what? She's like, nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe it was a little messy. I don't know. Let's take a quick break, shall we? All right, we got a lot more to do, and it'll be beer stuff, too. We got Michael Jordan from Boxing Cat Brewery.
Maybe we have him.
We'll be right back. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months to the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in a can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack cans.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just 1 day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
The session.
Brewing up our next batch of radio gold.
Right now.
That's right. Welcome back to the program, and thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks again to Michael Fairbrother from Moonlight Meadery for teaching us a little bit about Braggot today. And looking forward to seeing him out at our Winterfest, Saturday, January 25th, right here in sunny California.
That's right.
At least I hope it's sunny.
Oh, God. It should be. I mean, you know.
I might have just jinxed us.
Ooh, maybe you did.
Yeah. We're due for a rainy one.
Start saving up for that tent.
Yeah, it'll be rain or shine. Don't worry. We got backup plans. In the meantime, we've got Michael Jordan. He's the brewmaster at Boxing Cat Brewery. That's in Shanghai, China. Michael, are you with us?
I am. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being on the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What time is it? Is it next week in China? I'm terrible with time zones.
Yeah, what are the winning lotto numbers?
Yeah.
It's Tuesday morning, almost 10 o'clock. So we're about 15 hours ahead of you guys.
How long have you been living in Shanghai?
I've been here for almost 3 years.
Okay. And but you started your brewing world in the United States, is that right?
Yeah, I started out in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I started in the industry in 95 with some homebrewing a couple years prior to that.
Okay. Homebrewing in college then, or even after college?
Started in college, exactly.
Okay, got it. See, some of the best brewers in the world are all coming out of Oregon. guys, you know how to do it. Mustaches and homebrew.
Flannel.
Yeah.
It must have been fun to be a college student in the Pacific Northwest in like the early 90s. And all these guys were brewing these great beers in their dorm. Who knew?
Yeah, we were drinking Natty Light, and you guys were drinking good homebrew.
Fixed gears and fermentation.
All right. You know, I'm looking at your resume, too, and I even see that you brewed at Henry Weinhardt's, too, right?
Yep, I spent about a year there.
Okay.
Just prior to them getting bought out and kind of closed down through that kind of big merger acquisition.
I see. Yeah, that was one of my old staples. That was before I even knew what craft beer was. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those beers I thought the label looked cool, so I bought it, and it turned out I liked it.
What was the pale ale called? I think Blue Boar or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, Blue Boar.
Yeah.
There you go.
I rocked a lot of Taco Bell to those things.
Yeah. Where else did you brew in your career?
So I started at Nor'Wester, and that was a year and a half or so, and then they ended up closing and getting merged with a brewery called Saxo Brewing Company.
Okay.
They were pretty famous for a lemon lager, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then after Weinhard's moved to kind of the Grand Teton area, worked for Grand Teton Brewing Company.
Oh, that's a good brewery.
Yeah, it was a great time. Worked there for about 3 years as their head brewer.
Okay.
And then moved to North Idaho and Coeur d'Alene for about a year, and then off to Widmer for like 5.
So, was that just, I mean, you moved around quite a bit. Was that just where the jobs were taking you, or did you feel like traveling a little bit and wanted to uproot?
The first 3 breweries were all kind of a surprise. I mean, I was, a rookie in the industry, so to speak, and these places were closing. So when Weinhard's closed, I figured it was time to get out of Portland for a few years because there were a lot of unemployed brewers.
Okay.
And then eventually got I missed Portland and got back there and enjoyed a lot. 5 years at Widmer.
Widmer would be, I think, a fun brewery to be at.
Yeah. It'd be like it's like a library almost of brewing. And they have everything. Yeah. That's a big facility, and I'm sure you're going to learn everything. You don't need to work your way up, right?
Yeah, that was a great opportunity. Nice big automated brew house, a small 10 barrel, which isn't really that small, I guess, but a pilot system. So lots of opportunity and flexibility.
And Widmer's one of those places, kind of like Sierra Nevada in the sense that there's a bunch of beers that you get at the Widmer Brewery in their tasting room that you don't get anywhere else. Like Sierra Nevada, I mean, Sierra Nevada's not that far from us, but if we want a bunch of they make so many more beers than you find on the shelf. And Widmer surprised me about that because, everyone knows the Widmer Hefeweizen, right? That's all over the place. But then I went up to OBF one year and discovered that they had like 20 different brands that you could, great different beers you could get. So you got to brew a variety of beer at that brewery, I imagine.
We did. I mean, I was primarily in the big brew house.
Okay.
But I did spend a little bit of time at the pilot system doing a few different kind of one-offs. So that's just kind of the playground, and all those kind of get fed into the Guest House pub there across the street from the big brew house.
Got it. So you probably still had to brew your fair share of Widmer Hef.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've never brewed another Hefeweizen again, have you? Since leaving Widmer.
I haven't in a number of years. That's correct.
Right.
Was there ever an example of a one-off that you brewed that you were like, this is the cat's pajamas, we should put this into production, it's fantastic, and it never happened?
I mean, we had a couple things like that. We had I was at Widmer, an X114, a pale ale, so it was when Citra hop was still experimental.
Oh, yeah.
So Widmer was kind of one of the larger regional breweries behind supporting that hop, and then ended up winning a gold medal for it at World Beer Cup. I think it was 2008, and then decided we should buy a lot of this hop and play around with it a bit more.
Nice. By the way, Moscow, what do you work at a retirement home when you're not here? What the hell is the cat's pajamas?
It's the cat's pajamas.
I'm on a personal mission to bring back phrases that have gone the way of the dodo.
That's even before Tasty's time.
Right.
They've gone the way of the dodo.
Scott is always paying attention. As they say, not every shut eye is sleeping.
Yeah, it's like back in the 40s, man.
I love it. Well, keep it up. I like it.
How would you rate that effort? Like fair to middling?
He's good at it. He's been practicing.
Got a million of them.
All right. So, at what point do you leave the U.S. to go brew somewhere else?
So I left in the fall of 2008, and I moved to Denmark, actually southern Denmark, pretty close to the German border. just kind of wanted to spread my wings, get out of the U.S. for a while, and try working.
Got it.
Outside the country.
You know, it's awesome that brewing now, craft beer, is a job that can take you traveling, I think. I don't think it was always that way. I think there was a time when you just got a brewing job and you stayed where you were. But now with craft beer and American brewers being so good at it, it's a great career opportunity to travel, I think.
Absolutely.
It is.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I kind of stumbled into it by chance, and I've enjoyed it.
Where did you find jobs like in Denmark and, and for that matter, in China? Is there was that just a listing, or were you headhunted, or?
At the time, I was just kind of active on ProBrewer, and then I had a friend in Denmark that kind of helped land that job.
Okay.
As far as getting to China, I just literally found it on an online job board.
Got it.
That I hadn't really used that much before.
Okay. So that was Boxing Cat Brewery. That's where you are now. We're finally at the present day here. And so you just found an ad and applied for that?
Yeah, I found an ad on a job board. They were looking for a new brewmaster, and I didn't really know the exact circumstances, but ended up talking with the ownership, who are both, one's American-born Chinese and another is Taiwanese but raised in Toronto, so a lot of kind of North American Western influence.
Okay.
And the more I started talking to him, I thought it sounded like a great job, so I came over to check it out and pulled the trigger after that pretty quick.
Nice. And so they were always a craft brewery. You didn't go in and convert them to a craft brewery.
Correct. Yeah, they opened in 2008, and I joined kind of late 2010.
Got it. Are you single, or are you as a family moving around the world with you every time?
I am single, yeah.
There
so
you go.
That does make it easier.
Yeah, that's the other secret. If you want to be a traveling brewer, you know what you do?
Yeah.
You don't get married. Am I right, JP?
I'm trying not to. Try to pick a fight at least once a week.
Right. All right. I would see, this is one of those breweries already. I haven't even had the beer, but how great would it be to be sitting in Shanghai, China, drinking good craft beer? Just seems so out of place to me. It sounds
1 out
awesome.
of 2. Yeah.
What is the craft beer scene like there? Is there a lot of other craft breweries?
It's just starting. The last couple years I've been here, I've seen a number of other breweries open, and then we've kind of collectively started working together to do some craft beer festivals. So it's just getting going, kind of that pioneer movement. So it's a hard, challenging thing at sometimes, but it's also pretty exciting and rewarding at the same time.
What does so you say you're just starting to collaborate on festivals? Can you give us on average how many people are showing up for things like that?
Sure. We just had a festival this past weekend. It's actually the third time this festival is held. It's a bit on the east side of the city, so it's a little bit of a distance. But we had around 3,500 people turn out for a one-day festival.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
That's a great turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good.
And what would you say the ratio, not just festivals, but even the people buying your beer? Are they Americans living abroad? Are they locals? Who's buying the craft beer?
It's a pretty good mix. I mean, when the business started, it was definitely kind of expat supported, so, whether they're from North America or Europe. But as the business has kind of matured, we're actually starting to see more local Chinese support and customer base than expat.
Okay. And what about a most popular beer?
It varies quite a bit. So it's kind of a toss-up between our Right Hook Helles, which is a pretty light lager, 4.5%, low hop character, and then our TKO IPA, which is an American IPA at 62 IBUs.
Okay.
So there's a pretty big contrast there.
Yeah, no kidding. I like the spectrum.
Yeah.
That kind of describes me, though. I love Helles is awesome to me, one of my favorite styles, and then so is a good IPA. So
well, again, 1 out of 2.
I say you got some good palates out there.
Did it take a while for the IPA to catch on? Like, has it just been the last year or something?
When I started, we definitely had expats drinking it, and it's definitely grown in the last several years. And then we're seeing more locals appreciate hops, whether it's the hop flavor, hop aroma, whatnot.
Okay. I had a question from our chat room already, which is, what kind of hops you're able to get there. And in fact, is there hop cultivation in China, and are there differences between Chinese and American hops, for that matter?
Yeah, so China actually is the third largest growing region of hops worldwide.
Okay.
Saying that, there are a lot of hops that you never really see in North America. The predominant one is called Qingdao flower. So it's been founded and kind of, I guess, bred and supported by Qingdao, the brewery. So it's a very light hop. Alpha's around 7%. It tends to have a little bit of herbal minty character and almost a light melon. So it's pretty suitable for lagers. I've used it a little bit actually on a fresh hop beer, and it's an interesting hop, but more or less I'm using American varieties or some from kind of New Zealand, Australia, and some in Europe.
Were the beers kind of set in stone when you got there, or did you get to go in and make beers that you wanted?
They had a standard lineup of beers. The brewmaster had passed away. So there was a big vacuum of kind of organization. So when I started, they basically told me to change the beers from the get-go if I wanted to. So some of those beers I did change right away. Some of them I just made a light tweak here or there.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a bonus for you. Jump in there and get to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. That was what I was looking for and what I hadn't experienced in a number of years.
How does your naming scheme work? Do you name your beers in English? Do you gear them towards the locals? Because I know they're lost in translation and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, everything's pretty much boxing related, just to stick with the Boxing Cat theme. So it tends to be a little bit of myself, a gal in marketing, or one of the owners. We just kind of sit down and throw out names and wait till something sticks.
I've got a similar question, just even about the food, because you're a brew pub, right? So there's a menu as well?
Yeah.
What's the cuisine?
It's kind of cuisine you would find along the I-10 corridor in the U.S., so it's anything from like Baja, Cali, to Tex-Mex to kind of southern style you would find in Louisiana.
Okay.
Chinese nachos.
Yeah, love it. So is beer pairing something that you guys try to promote, or that your patrons are interested in, where you're really trying to get certain beers with certain dishes there?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, just wondering if you try to put certain beers with certain dishes there. Are your patrons interested in pairing beer with food?
Yeah, we've actually started that around a year ago. We had a new chef come in from the States. He'd been around Shanghai before and kind of mixed up the menu, and then actually started pairing beers with those items, and we've seen a good interest in that. People are starting to kind of get that. Beer in China historically has just been a very social drink that it's almost affiliated with kind of lower class. So to kind of elevate it to that is a good thing.
Got it. All right, I have to take a quick break and take care of some sponsors. If you can hang on a few minutes. When we come back, I kind of want to talk about homebrewing in China, too, and I've got a bunch of listener questions in front of me about sourcing ingredients and all kinds of... People are interested in how you make beer in China.
Yeah.
So
super.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, more from Michael Jordan. He's with Boxing Cat Brewery in Shanghai. If you've got questions, just hit the chat button right there on the homepage, and Susie will send them over to me. You could also call 888-401-BEER, 888-401-BEER if you want to call in and ask questions yourself. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf Shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hop Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, yeast nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com. Have you ever dreamed about attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lalamond and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lalamond and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2014 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition in the 2014 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13th, 2013, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2014 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lalamond Premium Brewing Yeast and enter to win.
BN Army, I'm here to talk seriously for a second. You all are partially responsible for something explosive, and it's time you answer for it.
Moonlight Meadery is exploding.
Yeah, exploding across the country with insane quality meads.
With nearly 70 different varieties of mead on the market, Moonlight Meadery has blown up the mead category and completely reinvented it.
Seriously?
What?
Seriously?
What?
You're paying money for that watered-down mead when you could have a Moonlight mead?
Moonlight doesn't stop at 14% like most meaderies to save 40 cents a gallon. Moonlight meads explode with quality and flavor.
They're a party in a bottle.
Did someone say party?
If you want mead and want the best, you want meads from Moonlight Meadery and will accept nothing less.
Be a part of the BN Mead explosion and ask for, demand Moonlight Meads at your favorite bottle shop.
Moonlight Meads. Girly names, manly meads.
Hey, sign me up for that party.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer. One that spits resin in your face and makes you cry, Uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam you in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
For nearly 15 years, homebrewers have been served by one place in Michigan where you can buy yourself a serial killer grain mill. Adventures in Homebrewing. Did you try all those great Michigan beers at the National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego or Seattle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Did you see a great false bottom in your buddy's cooler or brew kettle? Adventures in Homebrewing delivered that. And did you see that great custom-built brew stand? Yep, Adventures in Homebrewing delivered. Since 1999, Adventures in Homebrewing in Taylor, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and online at homebrewing.org has been serving homebrewers across the globe. Check out their innovative 2.5-gallon keg with metal handles, great homebrew kits, and the fully adjustable serial killer grain mill. Visit them in Philly for the 2013 National Homebrewers Conference. Not gonna make it? Check out all the fun of Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org. For a limited time, coupon code BNetwork will slam 10% off your order. Bam! Adventures in Homebrewing. Join the adventure at the Great Lakes home for homebrewing supplies. Online at homebrewing.org. And don't forget coupon code BNetwork for a limited time. Join the adventure today.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to style. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the program. Hit the chat button right there on the homepage if you want to ask questions of our guest, Michael Jordan from Boxing Cat Brewery in Shanghai. You can also call in 888-401-BEER. We'll try to get your calls there if you want to ask him directly. I got questions coming in from the chat. What's homebrewing like in Shanghai, Michael? Is it a big scene?
Homebrewing it's kind of in its infancy as well. I mean, there's a fair amount of expats here that have homebrewed from the States. But it tends to be hard to kind of find the ingredients.
Okay.
It's recently changed, but in the past, I've definitely helped out a number of homebrewers with whether it's malts or hops or
got it.
Even maybe some spare equipment.
So how has it changed? Is there now a prominent homebrew shop, or I mean, how is it?
Yeah,
getting
actually,
better?
one of the expats that's lived in Shanghai for a number of years has opened a homebrew store.
Okay.
So he does some workshop brews on weekends here and there, and then actually has brought in some stuff from the U.S., some Brice malts and whatnot. So that's helped a lot as far as homebrewing goes.
Is it hard for, breweries like you, and for that matter, shops like him, to get malt and hops and, for that matter, even yeast? Is it hard to get it over there?
It is. The hops is probably the easiest, just because most of the global hop companies are either based in China or elsewhere in Asia.
Okay.
But the malts tend to be more difficult. There's a lot of domestic malts, but those tend to vary on quality as far as base malt goes, and then the specialty malts, there's just a big limitation on the domestic stuff. So imported wise, Environment is in the country, so that's a great malt source to use. Castle malting, and this homebrew shop has brought in some Brice as well. So that's basically it at this point, unless you're willing to do the importation yourself.
I see.
Why is that? Is China strict about what comes in?
It's pretty restrictive on what comes in. Yeah, it takes a long time. There's a lot of red tape. Kind of once you get that first shipment in, and you have some history with port, then it can be easier, but it's a pretty labor-intensive process.
Are we being monitored right now? Have we gotten you in trouble, Michael?
It's very possible. The Great Firewall of China.
Yeah, that's why there's a delay.
I'm surprised. Yeah,
I've been thinking that. Like, what does the state? I mean, I would imagine it would be hard to make beer in China because of all the stuff that we hear about how controlling China is, and just how difficult in general it is to conduct daily business with the state kind of looming over.
How do regulations compare to the U.S., having brewed here for so long?
The regulations here are much more difficult.
For now.
So if you want to operate a brew pub, it's fairly simple because the licensing falls under the restaurant. But if you want to open like a proper microbrewery and do bottling and keg distribution, it's extremely challenging. And for the most part, there's only maybe a couple in the entire country that have navigated those waters to do it successfully.
See, JP and Moscow don't even think that you're hearing our voices. They think that every time I ask a question, there's a little Chinese person who goes, "They want you to tell us how great China is."
China is beautiful. I think the people here are very kind, and they really enjoy my beer.
Next question. How wonderful is beer in China?
Beer in China, I couldn't imagine brewing better beer I brewed in America for a long time, as you guys know, and the beer there was never really that good until I got the hops from China. It was Chinese hops that really launches Boxing Cat forward.
Next question. Repeat after me. I love China.
I love China.
That's how JP and Moscow think this interview is actually going, Mike.
What do you mean it's we think?
What's happening? I could hear him pounding on the door of the brewery right now.
What about day-to-day life, not beer-related? I mean, is your internet access restricted? How far does it go?
It is. So if you want to do a lot of social media stuff, it's actually blocked in China.
What about porn?
You have to go through a VPN to get around that. And, in truth, I was a little nervous our connection would be bad today. It seems to be okay. It's a little spotty on my end. I'm not sure how it is there.
Interesting. So your internet service provider, maybe this is a dumb question, is that not a private company? Is it a government company?
It is a government company, yeah.
It is. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah, and so when you say social media, do you mean literally something like checking your Facebook page is a difficult thing if you don't have something to hide your IP address?
Yeah, you have to have a VPN to do Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, even some of the blogs. Quite a few sites are definitely blocked without a VPN.
So how about, breweries in the U.S. are using social media to a huge extent to promote their brands and promote festivals and things like that. Are you just pretty much completely unable to do that?
We do it through kind of the Western social media channels because we use a VPN. A lot of businesses will use a VPN for that reason. There's social media within China as well. One that's kind of the Chinese version of Twitter is called Weibo. And that's quite big. I think there's like 600 million users countrywide.
Wow.
So
like
there
2%
are
of the
opportunities, but you just kind of got to navigate the field.
Got it. Okay.
Did you say Weibo?
Weibo.
Oh, okay.
Weibo.
Yeah, no Weivos.
Yeah. Michael, how about base malt? Is there any domestically grown base malt that you use?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Is there any? Do you have a source of domestic barley malt?
So when I started, we were using domestic barley, and since I've arrived, we switched over to all imported. Just the quality and the variability I saw in the domestic malt was pretty wide, even though the malt analysis might indicate it's perfect.
Oh, okay.
They're cooking the books, huh? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, a question that comes to mind as we're talking about the difficulties you have, a lot of U.S. breweries, actually breweries all around the world, are buying a lot of Chinese manufactured equipment because it's cheaper fermenters. And in fact, even entire brew houses, I think I met a brewery recently who had a whole brew house built at literally a fraction of the cost as some of the U.S. breweries. Do you reap those benefits being local?
Yeah, there's some great Chinese equipment being made. There's some stuff that's not very good. So I do get occasionally pokes from people around the world asking, "Hey, do you know anything about this manufacturer?" And
right,
I've toured a couple myself. There's a couple that I think do great work. There's a bunch that just do absolute garbage. But it comes down to pricing for a lot of people, and I guess it's a little scary, that short-term versus long-term mentality.
Sure. What about your brewery? Is that all Chinese equipment?
The brew house and some of the tanks are actually from Canada. They were already in China, specific mechanical. And then we have a number of tanks that were manufactured in China by one of the preferred vendors that I like and I trust.
Do you have any tips for people that are listening at this moment that are thinking about buying stuff, like how to tell the good from the bad?
I think in general, it's good to get a lot of references, and if you can afford the plane ticket and the time to come over and inspect the equipment prior to shipping, prior to going on the water, I think that's pretty crucial. Checking out the welds, making sure fittings are the way you wanted them. A lot of people just simply don't have the time, or they want to save the money and not make that effort. But I would suggest they do that.
I think that's good advice.
It seems penny wise and pound foolish, doesn't it? I don't want to spend $1,000 on a flight to go check it out. I'm just going to buy this $50,000 system and then go belly up because the weld broke and the brewery flooded.
Yeah.
Don't cut your nose off to spite your face, young man.
Yeah. See? But that's some of the stuff that we've been talking about, I think, recently with some of our guests who've been pretty forthcoming about the cost of doing business and startup. A lot of these people starting craft breweries they're following a dream, and they're on that shoestring budget, and you're kind of like just throwing a Hail Mary and going for it, and everybody's succeeding, so they're kind of like, it's fine. We'll make beer with this thing. It could fall apart in 2 years because we're going to double our capacity by then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like that's kind of the mentality. They're scraping up every dollar they have, so another $5,000 or whatever to get to China and back, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a sound reasoning. I just think that's what I'm hearing from a lot of people who are like, hey, let's do this. We can open a brewery. We're going to spend it all and hope for the best.
Right.
So, yeah. But I've also heard, just back to in terms of the quality of the equipment, I've definitely heard both. I've heard brewers absolutely rave about their Chinese manufactured fermenters, and I've heard the opposite.
Yeah, when we were doing a lot of business in China, trying to figure out a source for that, they want to make the equipment the right way. They want to make the equipment that you want.
Okay.
And you have to work with them. You have to be willing to work. Some manufacturers, some who've already done it, they just know, and it's like, oh, this is what you want, and this is what we make. But you have to be, like I just said, you have to work
flexible.
with them.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
I'm on the radio. The radio.
Right. How many different beers do you make there at Boxing Cat?
I don't brew it. Oh, him. Okay.
Uh-oh. Did we lose you? Yeah, we did.
The authorities, they caught on.
I see. He probably was don't say anything. Don't even make jokes. Don't. I could hear him cringing.
Oh, he's probably like, got his hands behind his back with a zip tie on, and they're beating him.
Whatever the Chinese word of gulag is, that's where he's headed to right now.
Hey, Michael.
Hi.
This is Michael.
Yeah.
I love China.
Hello. This Michael.
I'm back.
I'm back now.
Did I fuck us?
Back. We'll see how it goes.
Did I fuck us over by even mentioning the authorities, and now we're getting squashed?
Could be.
Could be that.
Listen to us in America going, what happened? You had a little glitch in the system?
I know, the land of spying on our own. And we're talking about China right now.
Is there a tank at your front door?
Don't worry, Michael. If something does happen to the internet, we will finish the interview for you.
All right.
Using ridiculous.
You'll have fun. It'll be a lot more entertaining.
Well, I'll make the jokes now and apologize later.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go.
We are well informed of the issues of the day over there.
Yeah, like we know all about it.
Now, the only thing you missed, all I was asking when we got disconnected there, is how many different styles of beer, how many different beers you make there?
Okay, so we have 6 beers on tap all the time, but throughout the year we're doing around 30 different styles.
Nice. Oh, that's good. So you really do get to be creative.
Yeah, we have some barrels that we brought over from the U.S., some Jim Beam bourbon barrels. So we do some aging in that. I have some red wine barrels that I've kind of moved product through that have become neutral, so I'm using those as sour barrels at this point. So quite a bit of flexibility, playing around with styles and aging and whatnot.
That's great. By the way, JP, when you were asking about names, you stopped short of getting into the good stuff. They have some great names like Donkey Punch Porter.
How do you say that in Chinese?
Yeah. You guys,
that's a good one, huh?
That is a great one. That's the best beer name I've heard in a long time.
Is that something?
Does that directly translate?
Yeah.
Is that something, Michael, that you are, afraid to get caught with, basically? I mean, even an American brew, I would think that wouldn't pass the TTB, right? Donkey Punch is pretty much a well-known sexual whatever.
Probably not to the old lady that has to review it.
Right.
Oh, Donkey Punch.
There's really nothing like that here as far as beer names. I mean, you just kind of pull it out of a hat and go with it. You don't have to get any approval or anything. So,
that's
it's kind of the Wild West in that sense.
So
and nobody has any access to UrbanDictionary.com, so they can never verify Donkey Punch anyway.
More like the Wild East.
Dirty Sanchez Stout.
Yeah.
Crap on my face lager it really is what you should do next.
That's a really odd juxtaposition, though, isn't it? That it's just no approval needed for any name you want, but then they're so authoritarian on the other hand.
Yeah.
There's maybe no infrastructure set up, and they're just kind of going whatever.
There's just really no infrastructure for it, for craft brewing. It's, everything in China is about big. So as far as we're concerned, we hardly even exist in their eyes.
Wow.
Maybe that will change over time, and there'll be more regulations and, name approval process.
But just like here.
It's pretty open.
So does that mean that there's no label approval either? You're not required to put the ABV or a government warning or anything else?
No, I mean, I think once you get into bottling, that changes a little bit.
Okay.
And that's where the government does step in, because you have to have this QS code, which basically means you can distribute it. And then you do have to list like the starting Play-Doh, the alcohol, and a few other things, but hardly any craft brewer is doing that at this point. So it's all draft and usually served in-house.
Okay. I had a question come through from, I guess, someone who used to live near you in China. I'm supposed to ask you, What does a toilet brush have to do with taking a hydrometer sample? Does that make any sense to you?
Let me guess. That must be David Mast.
He's using an alias. I see him as Quaker in my chat room, but it could be. And that's the question I'm supposed. Are you allowed to answer this question? Or does it even?
We just have a wide variety of brushes to clean in the brewery.
Yeah, I see. And one might as well be a toilet brush.
It's the brush.
So
you use it someplace else, then.
So knowing that, Jay, would you ever drink his beer now?
Sure, I'm sure that it didn't come from the bathroom first. It came from the store.
You don't need to be sure. If you get the feeling that happened, you'd be done.
Here's another one. This is from Beaten Husband in the chat room.
So husband.
That's redundant.
He says you mentioned that you spent some time in his town, Coeur d'Alene. Did you work at Coeur d'Alene Brewing Company?
I did. I worked at Coeur d'Alene Brewing Company for about a year. I guess it would have been 2002 to 2003.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, you have worked in a few breweries, man. You got some good experience under your belt.
Yep, I've seen some turf, big, small, some malting on the side. It's been good.
Do you think you're going to stay in Shanghai for a while now? Do you like it there?
I do like it. I have a pretty good brewing network here. It's an exciting time for craft beer, so I see myself sticking around for some years. I don't really have a plan to leave, but I know I don't want to stay here forever at the same time.
It's $50 for the trademark drop. Thank you.
Are you into Chinese chicks?
I just go through my mind too.
Well, I have a girlfriend that's Filipino, so I guess I'm on the Asian side, but no,
there you go.
Not on the Chinese side.
Was she born in China?
Yeah.
Do you speak Chinese?
I speak very little Chinese. I haven't really taken the time and patience to take formal classes, so I've just kind of picked some stuff up here and there.
Is it easy to live and work in Shanghai without speaking Chinese?
It's pretty manageable. It's definitely an international city, so if you have a vocabulary of maybe 300, 400 words, that'll help immensely, and you can get around pretty easy.
Wow, JP doesn't even have 300, 400 words in English.
Fuck no. So, they say, in California, we speak Spanglish, which is a mixture of, Spanish and English. Is there a phrase like that for Chinese and English, like a mixture of the two?
Yeah, we call it Chinglish.
Because we're so creative as Americans in our English language. Spanglish and Chinglish, man. And
that's how you get by in the world.
There's Germlish.
Germlish. Amerilish.
Right.
Oh, there's the other one.
Moscow tells me that you have a beer recipe for us.
Yeah. So we do a beer that's called Contender Extra Pale Ale that features mosaic hops. So
Nice.
I was able to get some of those last year, and it's something that's been popular. So I can share that with you. As far as the specs go, OG is 12.2 Plato. Finishing gravity is like 2.7, so we're looking around 4.9, 5% ABV. The IBUs are pretty low at 16. So we call it an extra pale ale, but stylistically, I guess it's a blonde ale or golden ale. We just picked up a silver medal for this beer the past weekend up in Japan for the International Beer Competition, so I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
But malt-wise, we're looking at Pilsner malt, 72%. I used some Environment Rye in there at 14%, and then some Environment Carapils at 14%. So a fairly simple grist for that. All of our brews, we're doing a single infusion mash. So I do a mash at 67 Celsius for 30 minutes. Do a little bit of a mash salt addition. I'd use some calcium chloride. Ends up working out to be 0.18 grams per liter. So as far as boil goes, we're boiling all of our beers 90 minutes. So the beginning of the boil, where you're adding some nugget hops. Calculation-wise, it seems it's about 0.22 grams per liter. And then 60 minutes into the boil, I'll add some mosaic, 0.14 grams per liter. add our whirl flock at 75 minutes of the boil, and then the very end of the boil we're using some more Mosaic, a little heavier dose, 0.36 grams per liter, and fermenting with White Labs 001, fermenting at 19 Celsius. So I tend to let that beer ferment out, and once we hit terminal around kind of that 3 or slightly lower, then I'll go ahead and dry hop the tank with more Mosaic and then cap the tank off. The dry hop tends to be a little heavier, 1.25 grams per liter. And I let it sit warm for 3 days, crash cool it all the way down to 2 Celsius. Once it's been at 2 Celsius for 1 day, I'll go ahead and take some of the dry hop matter off the tank, a bit of the yeast, let it sit cold for 3 to 5 days total, and then transfer it to our secondary tank, which essentially is a bright beer tank, but we're not filtering any of our beer, so I need a little extra time, temperature rest to get it as clear as possible before carbonating it and kegging it off.
Sounds like a good beer.
It's sold really well. It's light and fruity. You know, people swear there's some sort of pineapple that we've thrown in there, but it's all from the hops.
Okay. And are you all White Labs yeast in the brewery also?
We are, yeah.
You are, yeah. Is that easy to get for brewers?
So that's actually a funny story. No, it's really challenging. Actually, we've worked with White Labs for a number of years, and to get liquid yeast shipped into the country, it never makes it in time. It gets held up in customs, and then you get it, and it's dead.
I see.
So we go through some extra measures to just basically bring it in ourselves, whether it's kind of friends traveling between the U.S. and Shanghai, or if we're somewhere else in Asia, just get it shipped there, tuck it in the luggage, bring it back to the brewery, and use it right away.
So customs is tough in general. A lot of times, I know you were talking with Moscow here about potentially sending beer, but you said it would never make it out of the country.
Yeah, it's beer competitions we struggle with. Kind of the first challenge for me is always making sure it leaves the country.
Yeah.
And then I'm really happy, and then I'm like, okay, now we might get a medal. But
right.
We've had some instances. We registered for World Beer Cup in San Diego, and we couldn't get FedEx, UPS, DHL to pick the beer up, so we couldn't even get it to leave the country. So we literally bought a plane ticket and took it over to LA ourselves.
Wow.
Just to get it there in time. So it's a real nightmare at times.
I guess you could look at it. You always get a trip out of it if you want to go to a good festival. You're leaving Shanghai for a bit.
Yeah, luckily, one of the owners, Kelly Lee, she was born and raised in Los Angeles, so we always got that kind of West Coast connection to get stuff back and forth.
Got it. Now, what a pain,
It's not easy.
How many craft breweries would you say are kind of around you there, and even up and coming?
In Shanghai, there's actually small breweries. I've been told there's around 30.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of those kind of fall into what we call a mom and pop type brewery, where it's a Chinese restaurant, and they're kind of like a cowboy brewery in the back. And honestly, the beer is quite wretched. So if you exclude that, Shanghai, there's probably about 5 or 6 craft breweries that are doing it proper, with a couple more bound to open in the probably next 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Beijing, there's probably that 6 to 8 as well. And then the home brewing between the two cities, there's quite a few people. But there's some other craft breweries in some smaller cities. Nanjing, I know there's breweries opening in Shenzhen and Guangzhou, Dali, and Yunnan down near Vietnam. So it's spreading. It's kind of hard to keep tabs on all the breweries because the country's so big and there's not a real formal community to kind of track that stuff.
I see. How about taxes on the beer? Is it high? Is it anything similar to the U.S.?
The taxes don't seem to be too bad. I mean, I can't give you an exact figure. I should know that, but I can't remember it offhand. But it's not too bad.
Okay.
I mean, the taxes for the stuff coming in, the imported goods, whether it's malts or hops, that tends to have an automatic 17% on it, and then sometimes there's some extra stuff in customs you have to deal with, but you're kind of landlocked at that point and have to do it.
Got it. All right, I got a caller question for you. It's our dude Beaton husband from Coeur d'Alene. He's got another question for you. Beaton, what's happening, man?
Doc's on the phone?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I got a question for Michael here.
Go ahead.
I'm living in Coeur d'Alene right now, and I've lived here for years and years. Sorry, I got a cold right now. You're gonna have to bear with me. But Coeur d'Alene Brewing Company used to be fantastic, and I thought you guys had some great beers. But it seemed like as time went on, the beer started tasting really shitty. The bottles, the taps, everything.
Michael left,
and I was wondering what the real story was behind that. If there was you guys had some sanitation issues going on, or if you guys had some bad lines, or what went on there.
I mean, that's kind of hard for me to say. I mean, I felt like while I was there, which was 10 years ago, the beer quality was pretty good. I came into an existing brewery and tried to make some changes that honestly weren't always welcomed, which was a little discouraging. But after that, I think they had some change of staff, and I'm not really quite sure. I know they've been closed for 2 years, but I think they still kind of produce some of their beer through a newer brewery in Spokane, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
No, down in Moscow, Idaho. They moved to Moscow. They're still Coeur d'Alene Brewing Company, but they're in Moscow. I never understood that either.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of forgot that they had that location in Moscow, and I wasn't aware it was still running, to tell you the truth.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Beaton husband. Sorry that you're getting shitty beer and
beaten,
and that you're also getting beaten. Back to yeast real quick. One of our listeners wanted to know if are there any companies that produce yeast in China?
Not to my knowledge. You can buy dried yeast from Fermentis through one of the trading houses that also has hops and environment malt. So, you can buy yeast. As a brewer, I've always used liquid yeast, so that's kind of been my preference. In Oregon, I use white yeast a lot, and then I've used White Labs in Denmark, and then also here. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, our own chat moderator has a question for you, and she wants to know if you know anything about the decision to do American flair food at Box and Cat as opposed to Chinese food, Chinese cuisine.
I think that was just a decision from the owners when they opened, all kind of having a North American background and influence. One of the owners is a chef by training, so just thought it would be great to do a Western style brew pub with American food and kind of the influence of American beer.
Got it. I like it.
Are the locals into that? It's an American flair. Do they consider that a good thing?
Yeah, they do. It tends to be more kind of either younger Chinese, or they have a little bit more disposable income. They have a good job, or maybe their family has a lot of money. But in general, there's a huge international food scene in Shanghai, whether it's American food or stuff from Europe, different parts of Asia. I mean, it's a pretty big food city in general.
Plus, I don't know if you knew this, it's kind of a novelty. As you're ordering a sandwich, a guy in a black suit will stand next to you and listen to you order it from the waiter, and he'll write down every word you say and report it back to the CIA. So it's a very unique American experience they do there at Boxing Cat. I read that on the website.
Well, what about in general? Does China demonize America? Do they, put America on a pedestal? What's the general vibe about the U.S.?
Something in between?
I don't really see any negativity on a personal level for being an American here. I mean, I think Shanghai and other parts of China are used to the expats being here. I think the work visas are always difficult to get, and I think things are starting to change a little bit on the work visa side. So it's becoming more difficult. So maybe things are changing a bit, but I haven't been affected by it.
Oh, that's good.
You've been run out of town several times.
Yeah. Do you wear an American flag T-shirt every day?
No, I do not.
Good, try it.
Good man. Do you walk around in sweatpants, tennis shoes, and a baseball cap every day, like a good American tourist?
Nope.
Good man.
I try to blend in a little bit, even though I'm a big white guy. It's a bit difficult.
Got it. Let's see. I did want to ask one more question. We're kind of running out of time here, but given that you've been around the brewing scene and not just in the U.S. but in Europe too, do you do any collaboration beers out there with other breweries?
I have done a few different collaborations. We did one with Mikkeller about a year ago.
Nice.
Done one with it's called the Celt Experience out of Wales, and then done some collabs with other brewers in China, Great Leap up in Beijing, and then a few of the local breweries. We did a specialty beer for our Shanghai Beer Week last May.
Beautiful. I know Mikkeller likes to do some interesting stuff. He likes to think outside of the box sometimes. What did he want to brew with you?
Originally, we kind of went back and forth, but he had an idea to do basically Beer Geek Brunch Weasel as the base beer, and then use an Asian twist by adding durian, the fruit.
Oh, that's
which
that.
I don't know if you know, but it's a pretty wretched smell.
It's gross.
We would call the beer a double shit brew.
Because you're allowed to name it anything, so why not go for it? Oh, that couldn't have sold well.
I thought that was just pushing it a little too much, so we trimmed it down and ended up doing a chili IPA using some local Chinese green chilies.
Okay, that sounds better. Although, let me ask this. So, durian fruit, and by the way, some people love it. It's a very strong, it's pretty gnarly. So, honestly, do you think forget the name, because double shit, that was silly. But do you think there would have been a way to make a beer with durian fruit that would have been palatable?
I'm not sure. I've never had one. I mean, I know there's been a brewery in Singapore that made one a number of years, and I don't know how it sold. I don't think they'd make it anymore, so that might be a pretty clear indication that it didn't work very well.
The problem is it depends on when you get it. Apparently in the season, it has a very strong butterscotch flavor.
Oh,
tapioca, butter, onion, rose petal, this weird mishmash of nonsense. So
that could be bad.
I think it would just taste like that. I don't see it being any good.
Got it.
Yeah, I find it a little scary to use that in a beer, but maybe it's possible.
Someone was telling me you don't even want to cut it open in your house because even the aroma will linger and is pretty pungent, not just the flavor. Was that your experience, JP, or you too, Michael?
I mean, I know during season there are restrictions about having it in public transportation. I mean, people just really get offended by the smell. So
yeah.
It's the outer, it's the casing, for lack of a better term, that stinks. Actually,
it is?
Fruit
it's not
doesn't really smell rancid.
Oh, I thought it was, when you cut it open. So really, so that's even worse because it can't even just be sitting on the shelf and not smell it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a big pod. It's like a football or larger.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably, it is a lot larger than football, yeah.
Pretty good size, yeah.
It's gross.
I got to go check it out because it's been recommended to me several times for when we're looking for crazy things either to do on the radio show or on the TV shows that we've done. And everyone's like, "Oh, you should do durian fruit."
We tried to do it on the TV show, but it was out of season.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the ideas. It's the king of fruits, by the way.
Do you think maybe Mikkeller was trying to put you out of business, Michael, or is he a friend?
I hope not. He is a friend.
No, it would just have been another on Mikkeller beer.
Yeah.
That's his specialty. It's weird shit.
Right.
And tastes like glue.
He just partnered up and opened a Mikkeller Tap House out here in San Francisco that's pretty badass now.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it cool?
It's really cool. Good spot. It's big. It's in the ghetto.
Of course.
Don't park near it. Park far away from it and be careful walking to it.
Yeah.
Definitely don't get drunk and leave your car behind. It's in the Tenderloin. It's in the heart of the Tenderloin.
That's part of the regentrification, right?
Well, it's going to take a little while longer because as of now, you go in, you get a nice Cantillon and a shot of heroin.
Right. It's pretty good. Do you get a kit with it, or do you have to buy that separate?
That's separate.
All right.
But, they're trying to keep things clean.
All right. Don't share needles, kids.
All right, you can go to boxingcatbrewery.com, and I would imagine, for the most part, the website's up, and we're allowed to look at it. BoxingCatBrewery.com. Go check it out. You can find out about all the beers. They do have great beer names. Go check them out. They're funny. Plus, there's descriptions of every beer on their labels right there on the website. So there's plenty of stuff to look around for. And I would say if you're going to be in Shanghai, go see our friend Michael here and check out a Boxing Cat beer.
Yeah, definitely. Love to have people stop by, share beer.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the show, Michael. And I'll tell you, if you find your way back to the States, if you're ever in the Bay Area, we'd love to have you in the studio, man. I appreciate your time.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care and be well out there. Don't let the man bring you down or whatever.
All right, will do.
Thanks, Michael. Cheers, man.
All right. Cheers to you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
There you go. Michael from Boxing Cat Brewery in Shanghai, China. And I like his lifestyle, man. He's just traveling around.
Just making beer, dude, wherever he can.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's a good gig, I think, especially for a traveling job. You just plug me into a new brewery, I'll make more beer. It's a good deal. I like it.
I wonder what it'd be like to live in Shanghai or a giant foreign city, especially one with a lot of restrictions in a country like China.
Well, first of all, you don't like Asian people, so...
Absolutely not true. I love Asian people. I just don't like driving
Susie
near
doesn't
them.
count. I just don't like driving next to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder about that too, actually, because I do really enjoy traveling, but Shanghai to me seems like one of the real kind of busy, highly populated cities that might rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, you just picture everyone walking shoulder to shoulder wearing surgical masks and riding mopeds.
Yeah, and I'm the retard that's 2 feet above all of them. In your case, 3 feet above all of them. JP.
Yeah,
trying to blend in.
Yeah, I was like, don't look at me.
You're like that. Follow that bird where Big Bird ran away to China.
Yeah, yes, it is just like that.
Yeah, but he was in a sea of yellow. No, I shouldn't say.
It was a strong reference. All right, let's take a break because I have to pee. When we come back, we've got what do we have? A Brewcaster Challenge update.
Oh,
yeah. Also, Jax from Lost Coast came and hang out in the studio with us today. So we'll find out what's happening with Lost Coast when we get back to. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Hang in there. It's the session. Oh, plus, later on, we're playing What's in My Mouth.
Oh.
It's adapted from the old game What's in Schumann's Mouth. But now it's just What's in My Mouth. We'll be back. It's the session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Where do you go for all the stuff you need to brew? Homebrewstuff.com, of course. In their Boise, Idaho storefront and warehouse, they have more than 750 craft beers and 8,000 square feet of homebrew products in stock. The staff at Homebrew Stuff are homebrewers themselves. They try out just about everything, including the beer, so they can answer your questions knowledgeably and correctly about brewing, kegging, and anything else you might need to ask. Don't live near the Homebrew Stuff store? Visit homebrewstuff.com online and take advantage of their $7.95 domestic shipping available on most orders. Homebrewstuff.com is a proud sponsor of the AHA, NHC, GABF, and countless other acronyms. So if you're a homebrewer looking for great people, a great selection, and great deals, head to homebrewstuff.com, online or in person. Visit their YouTube channel for loads of free how-to and product videos. All of the stuff you need to brew. homebrewstuff.com.
This is a public service announcement.
Hey, dude, I think there's... what's wrong? You don't look so good. There's something wrong with your beer. It's making everyone sick.
Don't let your beer make your loved ones ill. Proper cleaning and sanitation is the key to avoiding puke on your shoes.
But I used an all-in-one.
Cleaning and sanitizing cannot be done in a one-step process. No cleaner can sanitize, and no sanitizer can clean. The amazing chemists at 5 Star Chemicals have your solution. Clean with BBW and sanitize with Star San.
Fantastic!
Your friends and loved ones will thank you. 5 Star products are available at fine homebrew shops near you and online. Put your best beer forward with 5 Star Chemicals, your one stop for the cleanest 2-step solution.
When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and brewing brother Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
888-401-BEER. This is The Session.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks once again to Michael Jordan from Boxing Cat Brewery. You can go to boxingcatbrewery.com right now and check it out. Great website and good dude. So if you're ever out there, it's not on my...
turn around and come back.
Yeah. Not on my travel plans.
No Michael Jordan jokes.
Just yet. Yeah, you know...
Too easy.
Well,
we did all that in the pre-planning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when I was writing the outline, I was like, this poor bastard's heard Michael Jordan jokes his whole life. I mean, he's about that age when he was what? He was in high school, probably just like us when Michael Jordan was huge, and he's heard. We're not that smart. We couldn't have come up with another joke that he hasn't heard.
Are you related?
I'm sure of it.
Any relation to Michael Jordan, the basketball player?
Yeah, exactly.
How was your stint in baseball?
Yeah.
Are you a Jew?
What?
I don't know.
Huh? See, that one doesn't even make sense. That's what we would have had to go to.
Non sequiturs and weirdness?
Yeah. All right, Michael did give us a homebrew recipe, and if you're looking for a place to store your recipes and work your recipes and plan your brew day and store your ingredients and share recipes with friends and just hang out on a piece of awesome brewing software for hours on end because it's just awesome, go to beersmith.com and use and download it for your free 21-day trial. Beersmith.com. It's the best brewing software that we've used, and we all use it here on the session. Beersmith.com. It's free to download for 21 days, so you don't have to take our word for it. It works on the Mac and the PC and maybe the DOS. I don't know what else it works. It works on everything.
Does it work in DOS?
And I doubt it works in DOS. I'm giving Brad too much credit.
It doesn't work in DOS, Brad, or Apple II, or nothing.
The only computer in my brew house is DOS, man.
Linux.
Brendan Push's garage?
Yeah, actually, it's Moscow's garage. It's the same place he keeps all of his sayings.
It's also where I play Wolfenstein every night.
Right.
Hey, I can give you a good link for that.
Go to beersmith.com right now and check it out. We love Brad and his software, and you will too, but you don't have to take our word for it because it's free for 21 days. Check it out. All right, so I promised you a Brewcaster Challenge update. And, our challengers this time around in the fourth round of the Brewcaster Challenge, I think?
Number 4.
I believe so, yeah.
It is the lovely Jamil Zainashev against Scott Moskowitz. That's right. We took the pro against the amateur. But
yeah, you get two ends of the spectrum.
If you remember, though, we crippled Jamil a little bit when Moscow requested that he wasn't allowed to boil. So he can do every part of the brewing process except boil. Jack from Lost Coast is hanging out with us.
Hello.
What do you think about that ridiculousness that we've made? That Jamil's got to brew this. By the way, it's a black IPA, and he's not allowed to boil.
Boil. Good luck.
Now, of course, he can bring it up to a very hot temperature, but he cannot boil in any way, shape, or form.
Jesus.
It's going to be rough, right?
Not even if it was in the sun, like Arizona.
Not even there.
Okay.
No. But we figure that Scott needed a little help as an amateur, and this way we leveled the playing field just a little bit by Scott. Did you decide what you're going to do? Whether you're going to go all grain or mini mash or extract? Or
My first thought was mini mash, but I actually think I might try all grain.
You're going to do your first all grain competing against Jamil.
I think. I haven't. Not 100%.
Does anybody want to discuss that with Moscow before we go any further?
I feel like...
What were the odds here? Have we set those
10-1 or something?
Nothing we say will prevent him from doing it.
That's not true.
We all know Moscow.
No, I'm open to suggestion.
Don't do it.
Okay.
No, hell no.
That's my suggestion.
Do it.
Well, let me ask you this. What is the thought process behind potentially brewing an all-grain beer?
None other than a few listeners emailed me and told me to do that.
Oh, listen, let me tell you something right now. Don't ever listen to our listeners about anything.
They listen, you don't listen.
Yeah, I guess that was stupid. You're right. All right, mini mash.
So that's number one.
No.
Well, here's the only. I would mini mash. I think you've done a mini mash, and here's what. Just for the listeners as well as yourself, the only thing I have against you doing all grain is you're going to make mistakes. It's the first time doing that process, and you want to minimize your mistakes right now. And those mistakes include not hitting the right mash temperature that you want to hit, which is going to affect the body of the beer and the mouthfeel, and certainly even the ABV potentially. You're going to, who knows, the mash could get stuck because you've never done it before, and then what? I mean, there's just, having never done it, you don't want to do that against Jamil. So I feel like you should be thinking to limit the potential for error. But I don't think he has to go full extract. I think he could mini mash, don't you, Doc? I mean, you taught him how.
I can teach him how to all grain way ahead of time, and then he can go from that point on, and he can...
He doesn't have time for that.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
I can teach you all grain. I'll just at lunch.
You got to do it tomorrow, then. I mean, it's the time is upon us.
Is it more than 2 weeks out, or less than 2 weeks, or it's coming up on 2?
Our reveal date is October 6th, so we're about 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay. Well, yeah, you're arcing up against the wall for it, to get it all in the right condition.
Do you even have equipment to brew all grain?
No. No.
I like where this is going.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe, you can go over to Doc's and he could, watch you do it.
Right. Or JP's or something.
Well, if you don't have equipment, then I say do it. I say that's a smart suggestion.
Yeah. What if I just get like 21st Amendment back in black and just pour it into a bomber? And
no one would know.
Brewer's Code.
But Scott's not a brewer.
He is. He's brewed.
Well,
I think that makes him a brewer.
Well,
you've brewed, you're a brewer. F it.
Burp.
Anyway, all right. So what now then? Are you leaning toward mini mash?
Well, I probably will go with my first instinct, especially based on what you guys are saying, and just do the mini mash.
Yeah.
Because I do want to beat Jamil.
Do you have equipment to do mini mash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that I do.
And let's face it, the mini mash is really, you're just getting color and stuff anyway.
You're getting sugar.
So, very little. I mean, most of what he's going to do, he's going to get out of his extract. So even if he doesn't convert a whole bunch of sugar, he's going to be fine. I guess is what I'm saying. Like, he can't really fuck it up.
Well,
it's gonna be a hop bomb, and not gonna taste the malt anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting 40% or so of your sugar from your.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I don't remember it being like that.
It's like 3 pounds of grain.
Oh,
a base malt or something like that.
And he's just doing a 5-gallon batch. Oh, that's a good. Okay, I forgot it would be that much. I thought I remembered it just being like not even 5%. Some little.
No, it's quite a lot.
I
so,
see. Okay,
depending on your recipe, of course. So then, if the good part is if he overshoots. He can just add more. I mean, just like any other brew day, and it's not going to matter too much necessarily because you're using extract will give you most of your sugars in a mini mash.
Okay, and so it's easier to fix when problems might arise, like you didn't hit your OG or anything like that. So
I did hear an interesting tip from Paul Sangster when he was in studio. He was saying if you don't want it overly roasty, which I don't. I think that's what most people don't like about black IPAs. He was saying add the roasted grains to fermentation. Do not boil them. So I think I will be employing that technique.
Huh. I don't remember him saying that. Does that sound right to you guys?
I've never heard of that.
Grains to fermentation?
Or maybe to secondary? He said don't boil them. That I remember. I have to email him for
You could add them in flame out.
Yeah, you can put it in flame out.
Or you can top mash with them. Or you can make tea outside of that.
Yeah, I usually top mash. But if you want to do it that flame out, grind it up in the coffee grinder.
Yep.
And then put it right at flame out.
What would
if he said, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, though. If he said during fermentation, maybe he meant do a tea. And then you could add that tea.
I can see
That's
tea.
what he said. Yeah, that is what he said.
Okay. So you're not putting the grain itself into don't dump any grain into
Yeah,
your...
sorry. So could you explain to me and everyone else what that means exactly? Because I'm planning on doing it.
Well, it's the same as you would be doing essentially with your mini mash, where you're just taking hot water, 170 degrees, and you're going to put these grains into a mesh bag and soak them in it for 30 minutes.
Sort of like Jamil's going to do.
You're soaking in it.
And then your water's going to turn black and have a little bit of flavor to it, and then you pour
sort of like Obama.
And then you pour that into the fermented beer, I guess.
And that'll just give me flavor without bitterness?
It'll give you a little bit of roast, and more than anything, it's going to give you color.
Yeah.
Color, not roast.
And you can sort of dial it in. I don't know that I like this method very much, but...
You can add cinnamon after all that if you want it to be longer.
Well, I just go to the cinnamon.
Yep.
It's a really dark extract. Comes in little kind of containers.
4-ounce bottle.
Wait.
Oh, so it's literally already done. He just dumps this tube of cinnamon.
Essentially, it's slow roast, yeah.
Yep.
And this is instead of the tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even bother with it.
And you can do it during primary, too. You just stick it in there.
Because the problem I have with the tea, too, is that hopefully you've hit all your numbers and your gravity's kind of where you want it to be, and then you're adding water to the beer afterward. I mean, no matter how you look at it, if you're doing a tea, you're adding water. And if let's say, I mean, you might have to add a lot of water to get it black. I don't know. I've never done it.
Well, for as much as probably for that size batch, 5-gallon, 6-gallon batch, it can't be more than 4 ounces of roast of Diaz Carafa. I assume that's what you'd be using. So that can't require more than like a pint or a pint and a half of water.
All right, that's enough
to make a tea. Yeah, you wouldn't even notice it.
Well,
but it would be like ink when you add it in there. So it's going to definitely make the beer dark. And like I said, if it's not dark enough, you can always add the cinnamon later on.
What about potential for infection if you're like adding water?
You've already you've boiled it in a container and you put the lid on and you let it chill, right? You can put it in like a kitchen pot, then put in some water in the sink and let it chill down, and just pour it in your fermenter.
Yeah,
it's sterile.
There you go. A lot of options on your plate now.
Too many.
I'm worried about you all of a sudden. I thought you were going to do fine, but now after this update, I'm worried. What about hops? What are you thinking there?
Yeah, put some in.
Yeah, definitely going to use some. Yeah, I'm thinking Apollo, Simcoe, and Summit.
Well, those are good.
Yeah. All right.
You got some Mosaic.
Apollo is your bittering, or Simcoe is you're going to be your bittering hop? I would assume.
Simcoe.
Yeah. Apollo and do you have a late edition or a middle edition hop, or is everything else in the end?
The end, and I'll use all three for a dry hop as well.
Okay. Are you sure you can get those hops?
No. No, I'm not sure about anything.
I know you can get, and Jamil, I'm sure, would be a good sport. You can get Simcoe from him if you need to. That might be the tough one to get. Apollo, is that common? You don't know anymore, JP.
I don't know. I don't use Apollo. Chinook, baby. Chinook and Amarillo.
Okay.
Apollo.
Why?
I don't know, because I like them. I've never used Apollo, and I just wanted to be, awesome.
What would work for this style? I mean, I know you hate the style, but it doesn't. I mean, I'm assuming it would. Which hops you use? There's got to be ones that are good for this style. So, do those work for a black IPA?
I'm sure
the beer style sucks. By the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to.
The reason it sucks is because people use citrus-oriented hops, and they don't go at all with the roast. If I was going to make a black IPA, I'd use Hallertau or something.
But it's not supposed to have roast. That's the thing. It's not supposed to have roast.
Right, but they all do.
That's the definition. Well, right, but that's the definition of the style.
Yeah, the good ones
dark without roast.
Yeah, the good ones don't have it.
So
it is. Is that what it says in the thing? It says no roast. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so the challenge is get it dark with
That's
no
what
roast.
the Cinemar's for. Then you're saying, right?
Apparently, the challenge is figuring out what the style is.
There's no style guide.
No, the challenge is making yourself brew it, because why would you?
So that we can talk about it.
Is there a way to only brew?
By the way, when did you turn into JP and just start bitching?
See, Doug, we do a thing called a radio show, and for that we need content.
Yeah, I know. You can't have dead air. You got to have some controversy.
I'm just adding my dead air.
Well, Tasty's first response to your hops was that they were good.
Yeah, they're fine.
The three that you mentioned, I think those would be.
I think you just should make it a lager.
Then it's a Schwartz beer.
Is there a way to only brew 2.5 gallons of whatever I brew?
Absolutely.
Does it have to be 5?
No.
No.
You can brew a gallon, dude.
Brew a gallon.
No, but listen to me.
Brew 5.
Brew what you know how to brew. How you know how to brew.
I don't.
If the couple of batches that you've done,
I don't,
are 5-gallon extract batches, then that's what you did.
Yeah, stick with that.
But then you can split that, especially if you're going to add the coloring and the grains after the fact. You can split that and do different kinds of things.
So that's a great idea. You brew exactly like you know how, which is extract in a pot with the hops of your choice. Okay,
and a contamination of some sort.
And then you split that into two different vessels, and in one you do Cinemar like they've described, and in the other you do the tea like Sangster described.
Teabag it,
and you'll whichever one is best. You know. Plus, you kind of got two fermentations, two options for success
or failure.
You could dry hop each one differently at that point.
You could blend them back.
You could blend them together. I think that JP just gave you a winning recipe. I think by splitting it like that, you get to mess with this stuff a little bit.
Why did that make your voice crack? Why did the fact that I gave some sort of does that not sit well with you?
No, I really like it.
Shocked as hell.
If I was to use different hops for the dry hop than I planned, I mean, is there a chance it could get too muddled? If I'm going 7-8 different varieties.
No, I would take three hops is about all you want.
Yeah,
to do.
three of the same.
Especially if it's a hop
stay in the same family.
Yeah. Okay,
but you would do three in varieties in one and. Oh, I see. If you did a blend, you might end up with 6 different.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now I see what you're saying. So then you could just stick with the same 3 but alter the amount in each one. Just the different additions. So you got this.
I got this. I think.
You might consider Mosaic. Just if you want to use like what we call West Coast hops, I would choose those that are more towards the melon, passion fruit kind of thing instead of the citrus. They could play better. Even with the slight amount of roast you're going to have, they could play better.
Okay, and none of those Apollo, Simcoe, Summit, none of those
you
are
can have some
citrusy,
Simcoe, but not a whole lot. I mean, you won't need much because you can use. Right. I would use Mosaic. I have some. I'll give you.
I second that. I had a Lagunitas. They weren't calling it a black IPA. It was an experimental beer, but it was black and IPA like, and it was a Mosaic beer, and it was pretty damn good. It went well with that beer. I think that's pretty good advice, Tasty. It's also a pretty unique hop. It has a lot of different things going on, so the judges might pick up on that and say, "Wow,
well, the goodness of it, yeah. Whatever the faults are in the beer, if it tastes good, they're going to ignore all the faults."
Right.
It also sounds pretty.
It does. It has a good name.
Mosaic. It's kind of like America. We're a mosaic, a finely woven tapestry of ethnicities and experiences.
I won't have any trouble getting it, will I?
That he's Tasty going to give us.
No, Jamil gave me some to make, so I'd make this beer for Chad's wedding. I made a mosaic pale ale, and I got like 4 ounces left over. I'll give those to you.
Perfect.
All right. Anything else we need to know? Remember, you can gather all of the information and instruction you want up until brew day.
Right.
So I encourage you to keep asking questions.
Talk to Nate too, by the way.
Yeah,
for blending hops.
Yeah.
I think Nate's a mosaic guy too. He's got some.
What's one of those hops that's just so good? It makes every beer better. So.
Are you going to do a yeast starter?
Yes, that is for sure. That's something I've not done yet, but I know it's important, so I'm definitely going to do that.
So the Brewing Network Pale Ale DVD has an extra on it. You can get the DVD on the online store right now, and it's got Doc teaching us the perfect method of making a starter, and he simplifies it, and I watch it every time because I forget everything I ever learned.
One pint for this
every single time. And anyhow, that'll help you out with your starter.
I think I'm going to blow a call into Brindleton and to Vinny and trying to get their advice personally. You know, I got to get myself on.
I'm
the
sure
help
they
I
will
can
be returned post haste.
You're going to have 100 things that you're going to do on brew day if you're not careful. So maybe I shouldn't encourage you to ask too many questions, because just remember, brew the beer you know how to brew, and you're just taking a couple of techniques here. That's all.
Knowledge is dangerous.
Right. All right. Anything else I need to ask you, Moscow?
No, please don't.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
You are. Okay.
Put your whole soul in.
Yeah,
no,
see?
don't.
Big problem.
Let your soul glow.
All right, well, I talked to Jamil. Couldn't make a call in tonight. He's working in the brewery, actually. Kids work in the tasting room. I know we had a big group there tonight up at Heretic, the new Heretic brewing facility. But I did interview him for just a few minutes about where he is in the process, and it's mostly about what recipe and techniques he might use. So here's a little interview I did with Jamil today to find out where he is at in the Brewcaster Challenge. All right, I'm here with Jamil, and he wasn't able to be in the studio tonight. He's a working man again. So we needed an update on the Brewcaster Challenge. So I've got Jamil on the phone, and thought I'd find out where you are in the process, Jamil. Have you started on a recipe?
I've been thinking about things like, yeast and what kind of hops I'm going to use and things like that. My yeast choices, I think, I was leaning towards just doing a Cal Ale yeast, keeping it, plain and simple. But I might split my wort into two and try doing an English ale, like a WLP-002 in half of it and see which one I like better.
Nice.
It can add a little more... a little more residual sweetness, a little more, maltiness, and that can be a good thing in something like a black IPA, I think. So, I'm not really set one way or the other. Again, I think I'll split it as far as hops go. I've been thinking about hops, and I've got access to Amarillo and Citra and Simcoe here at the brewery, and even some Mosaic. And I was thinking, I could either use some blend of those or maybe, single hop it. But either way, I'm going to dry hop it. No matter what, I'm going to dry hop it, I think.
Okay. And how are you going to get that, the black color of the IPA? There's different malts to choose for that, right?
Right. And I'm a lot of people making black IPAs nowadays, they're using chocolate malts or roasted malts and getting some roasty malt character in there, and they turn out more like a hoppy stout or a hoppy porter than they do. I think, the spirit of the black IPA, I would think, is, still like an IPA, but it's got a blackened color. And so I was thinking of using, Brees makes a product called Black Prince, and it's somewhat different than the Carafa special that Wireman makes. In that the Black Prince is a huskless variety of wheat, I believe, and they use that as the source. And we've tried it in some of our beers, and I like it. I think it it'll give it the right character. So I'm going to go with the Black Prince for the color probably. And, I might do a bit of crystal malt in there. I think a little bit of malt sweetness in the black IPA might be a good thing. I don't want it too dry, too sharp. I think, maybe a richer, fuller version is the way to go.
Okay. Anything that you're worried about with your no-boil challenge?
The biggest thing is, I think, the BJCP, one of the questions on the BJCP exam is, why, list the 5 reasons that you boil. It's so, the boil is so important that, there's a lot of reasons why you do it. So, I'm concerned about coagulating the proteins. I'm concerned about driving off, volatilizing, certain compounds. And I'm also worried about, if I can't boil and, you can get first runnings off of all grain to be in the range for an IPA. But there's a certain, limit to your original gravity. So I was thinking it might be worthwhile to go with extracts, as my base. Go with a good quality liquid or dry malt extract, and then steeping grains, and that might be my best bet.
It's a good point. I didn't even think about even just dialing in your OG, by being able to boil down or just have boil off in general.
To concentrate things, right. If this was a higher, OG than I could get in first runnings, then I'd be in real trouble. And without adding any sort of extract or sugar. And it's not really a style that calls for, sugar. But you can add some dextrose or something like that, for an IPA. And the black IPAs, I think they should be a little fuller. They shouldn't be, super dry, because of the any dark malt character adds a certain acidity to the beer. And if you're too dry, I think it ends up being too harsh. So you got to make sure you got some residual sweetness, either through crystal malt or through lower attenuation, through a yeast choice or something like that to kind of balance that out. And I think that's kind of what the consumer's looking for. I think that's what the beer calls for. And so not having done a lot of this black IPA stuff, I think, that in and of itself is a real challenge for me. I've done all the beer styles and a lot of styles that don't exist. But black IPA is probably the one style you could have picked that I really have not had a lot of experience in.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, I think the challenge is, quite apt on a lot of levels.
Okay, good. Well, it does. I'm not surprised though that it does sound like you're wrapping your head around some ideas to make it work. So, as always, that's the point of the Brewcaster Challenge, is for us to get some out of the box information.
Mm-hmm. And I think the reason I liked the Brewcaster Challenge when you first announced it was I think people can learn a lot from it, and I'm learning from this experience as well. I think you picked things that are making me think versus, if it was just some regular old challenge brewing some style, it would be like nothing.
Right.
But this has actually thrown me for quite a challenge.
Beautiful. All right, Jay-Z. Well, we're hearing from Moscow on the show about his today as well, and I wish you luck, my friend.
All right.
All right, brother.
Soul is Ginger, good luck.
Will do. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
There you go. That's Jay-Z's update. He sounds a lot more sure of things.
Why do I feel like he didn't mean it when he said good luck? It was probably the soulless ginger preface.
It could have been that. The addition. Okay. Did we bet? We bet on everybody already, right?
No, we haven't even set the line yet.
It's probably time to do that after today's interviews. Although I don't think you helped yourself very much, Moscow.
Well, you sure you don't want to wait for the 29 show? We got one more show before the reveal.
Okay. We'll do one more update show then?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
because right now, betting on Moscow, if he wins, is going to give you a lot of points, I think, the way the spread's looking at this moment.
Yeah.
After today's update. But you will have brewed the beer. Jay-Z will have brewed the beer, so we'll find out how it went.
Exactly.
I'm ready to bet right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm ready to bet.
Well, throw it out. If you were to bet, if it were final and it's not, what would it be?
I would bet on Scott because I need the points.
For the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not because. So it's a Hail Mary.
It's a Hail Mary, but also, I don't know.
What if they both suck? Do we have to vote?
Yeah.
What's the spread here? For
well,
JP must think it's like 7-3, Jamil or something like that.
See, I don't even know what that means.
Whatever.
I'm so stupid. I have no idea what it means.
Well, that's why I'm kind of keeping it simple, but I don't think I'm too far off when I say it's like 10-1.
10-1?
That Jamel's going to win. You know?
I mean,
really?
In this moment for me, I got to bet
secret ingredients here.
I got to bet with my heart, not with my mind. Or wait, the other way around.
What are you going to the same old folks' home as Moscow is?
Maybe we eat the same. Maybe we're both eating Sheba because we're too poor.
Right.
We're both eating a lot of cat food together.
Both eating.
Dog food's better for you.
Kashi cereal and
more rounded.
prunes.
I had Kashi this morning. It's quite good.
I'm sure you did.
Autumn wheat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Moscow's right that we wait till after the next update, because right now, if I were to put it down, I think my spread would be very close to 10-1, and I'd still be voting for Jamil. So I hope the next update evens the play.
Well, yeah, I want to hear confident Moscow next time. After you've got the brew under his belt, and you're going to be coming across as
after the brew day, I'll either be much more confident or much more not.
All right.
Much more not.
Few things left to do. It's time to do a little bit of beer news.
It's the Brewing Network's Beer News, brought to you by Rodall Performance.
Well, there's another Trappist brewery, official Trappist brewery. It's the 8th one, called Stift Engelsel, and it's launched in the United States. You can maybe find it these days on tap and in bottles. There's two styles that are around. It's a dark triple called Gregorius, around 10%. There's a double called Benno, coming in at 7%. The beers are named for former Abbey leaders, and their brew house is going to be producing about 2,100 barrels annually. It's in Austria. It's the only Trappist monastery in Austria, and it was named the 8th official Trappist brewery in 2012.
Wait, I thought it was launched in the States.
I'm sorry. Meaning their beer is going to be here now.
I see.
They've launched their brand here.
Got it.
Yeah.
They didn't open a new Abbey in the United States.
I thought we could go hang out at the Abbey.
Yeah. There is an Abbey in California, isn't there? I don't know if it's a Trappist Abbey.
Yeah, Beav and Sam have it. It's over.
I think there is an Abbey.
There might be an Abbey. It's not a Trappist. There are no official Trappist Abbeys in the United States.
Okay.
It's that one by Sierra Nevada.
Very confused.
To be an authentic Trappist product, you have to. The beer must be brewed by the monks themselves within the walls of the monastery. All the proceeds from the beer have to go back to support the monastery, and then the beers are crafted according to the traditions and the secret recipes, passed down across the generations of monks.
Sure. Okay.
How do they pass it down? They don't talk.
Monks are mute.
Point.
Well,
they write in the snow when they take a piss.
Brother Jim, I've created a new recipe. I don't know where he's from.
Write it in
he's
the
a
snow.
Viking or something.
Write it in the snow.
That's great.
By the way, I've said this to you in piss also, because I'm not allowed to talk.
One thing that I found, I was looking up what are the other official Trappist breweries, and it blew me away how old Rochefort is. All of the Trappist breweries are 1800s, a couple early 1900s, and then Rochefort at 1595.
Wow,
year opened.
You should go there and learn some new sayings.
Be a little too contemporary for my
Yeah.
Did you guys know that how old they were?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
I knew that some of them were very old, but yeah, that's old.
Yeah.
That's almost as old as Tasty.
Really?
Anyway, check out your locals and see if they have it. Stift Engelsel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Stift.
All right, another one. Now here, this is out of China, appropriate for our guest today. There's a Hello Kitty beer that's being sold in cans in China. It's not the it's not the first time, actually. The various beers with the cartoon have been made in the past. There was one that was officially licensed and produced by Beck's, and it was actually international. But this one's only in China. It's being made by a Taiwanese brewer, Taiwan Sing Beer Co. They make Long Tuan, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
So the crazy part of this is that It's a super light fruit lager. It's coming in at 2.3%, and apparently they're ridiculously smooth and tasty to the point where one can barely tell they're drinking beer. Extremely sweet, kind of tastes like fruit juice. And of course, there's Hello Kitty on the can, so it's very inviting for the youngins. It tastes.
I can't figure out.
To the kids.
I can't figure out if they're marketing to children and there's no regulations against that, or that it's adults in China that like Hello Kitty.
I think it's
because
both.
Yeah,
it's really a very
I don't think
popular
it's
brand.
just children that like Hello Kitty.
No, but I mean at that with 2.8 with really fruity, they're marketing to kids. They're marketing to young girls.
Wow,
for sure.
2.3. It's even a little lower than that.
For sure.
But what is our Hanson's beer? Was it also a light beer? Remember that Hanson's beer?
That was not. No, that was like, I think it was a pale ale. That was standard. That was like 5%, maybe 5.5%.
All right.
What the hell is Hello? Does anybody even know anymore what Hello Kitty is?
Yeah,
I've forgotten what it is. Is it a television show or is it just an earring?
Right?
Just a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
It's literally a cartoon. It's made by a company that just produces various, school supplies, folders, and
Sanrio.
Yeah, Sanrio, exactly.
What do they do on the cartoon? Do they learn things?
I don't think they have an actual show. It's just a character.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's from. I'm not a small child.
I don't like it. I'm going to go on record as saying I don't like Hello Kitty.
Because you just don't understand it.
I don't understand it.
You're not.
How do you have a thing that's not even really a thing? No one can tell me what it does. No one knows. It's not a show. It's not a. It's just
I don't know.
It's a cat. It doesn't do anything. And why is the cat's name Hello? I don't. None of these things make sense to me.
Hello Kitty.
You're completely describing my marketing plan, by the way.
Right.
It's the kitty that says hello. It's a friendly cat. So all small children like friendly cats. It's the
and that's
kitty
all
that says,
it does.
Hello, hello, kitty.
I think
so it becomes the Hello Kitty. It doesn't even deserve a name. It goes around making children happy, and it doesn't even get a fucking name.
Its name is Hello Kitty.
It's a sexual reference.
See, that's what I think. I think the doc is probably closer to the truth.
Yeah.
That there's some kind of creepy thing going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yeah.
There's a cosmetics.
Why didn't you say so?
They're not mutually exclusive.
I see.
Right.
There's a cosmetics line, too. Hello Kitty has, cosmetics they steer towards teens.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Sounds great. There's a lot of ugly teens out there.
Yeah, they could use a little help, huh?
Yeah, they're real blotchy. They need some foundation.
I don't get it. And now it's a... if I see someone drinking this, I'll punch them.
I think you should.
Yeah, punch that 12-year-old girl.
Well,
she might split the leg, dude,
punch her for
and
drinking.
Collapse your trachea. No, I mean, in Japan, they can't sell dildos shaped like penises, so they're Hello Kitty back massagers.
Wow. Yeah. Are you being serious?
Swear to God.
See, the whole thing, the cross branding with dildos and beer and kids and
that's amazing. I think it's great.
Yeah, they just need some more regulation.
They're regulating the wrong things in China. I'll tell you that right now.
Probably.
All right.
You can actually get a Hello Kitty email address, by the way. If you go to hellokitty.com, you can sign up. Because I got an email one time from a guy at blah, blah, blah at hellokitty.com. I go, do you seriously work for Hello Kitty? He goes, no, it's a free email address.
How long did you guys date?
A couple years. I don't want to. Oh, apparently Susie is getting some Hello Kitty beer from Taiwan.
Wow. Bring it in, Suze. Oh, God.
Yeah, the fact that it's from Taiwan is another thing that is helping this, besides the Hello Kitty brand. It's clearly marked on the can that it said Taiwan fruit flavored, it said, because apparently mainland Chinese are crazy for anything Taiwanese.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when I see made in Taiwan on the things I buy, I'm not so impressed.
Not so much for the Chinese. It's a selling point for them. And, it makes sense that the fruit flavored beers made by Taiwan's own Taiwan Beer Company are currently doing incredibly well in China with a pineapple flavored beer they're sending there. So anything Taiwan is going crazy right now.
Okay.
That's an upgrade.
What else?
Here, I was going to give you notes on Hello Kitty.
Make them quick. I don't know. I'm getting disturbed by it. But
Hello Kitty's name is known as Kitty White, or effectively as Kitty Chan. And she's never formally had a cartoon. It was on a coin purse in the 70s. And then it kind of launched into a TV show, but it became wildly popular. It was just a little thing on a marketing thing, a little thing.
It doesn't even have a mouth. It's just a red bow and
that
no
bothers
mouth.
me.
It's a cat.
Oh, formerly in
Cats have mouths.
Formerly in
Not
Japanese,
cartoon cats.
Formerly in Japanese, Hello Kitty refers to the group of related characters. The main character is known as Kitty White.
Do any of them talk?
I don't know.
I don't like things that don't talk. It creeps me out that there's a thing that's popular, but no one's ever heard it say anything. And I feel like you don't. That's why the messages are so convoluted, because you don't know where it's coming from.
Several Hello Kitty TV series have been produced. Hello Kitty is also the main character at the 2 Japanese Sanrio theme parks, Harmony Land and the indoor Sanrio Puro Land.
Maybe I just have a crush on Hello Kitty. Maybe that's the problem.
Well,
I hate it.
To be honest, like, she's as wide as she is tall, so I'm not really into her.
Okay. All right, what else is in the news?
Well, I debated whether or not to even report it, but I'm going to. Another logo branding dispute in the news, and this one is particularly crazy, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention. The Japanese company that invented Godzilla.
What is this, the Asia show?
Yeah, well, our guest was from China.
All the time.
Carry on.
The Japanese company that invented Godzilla has filed a lawsuit against New Orleans Lager and Ale Brewing Company, affectionately known as NOLA, over their beer Mega Hopzilla. So the company it's called Toho Company. They're a film company. This company does something, Jay, you'll be happy to hear. They created Godzilla in 1954, and then Mega Godzilla, which was Godzilla's mechanical evil twin.
I liked Mega Godzilla.
Yeah, that one's from the mid-'70s, that character. They claim that the beer's name violates their copyrights for Mega Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, it does.
The lawsuit claims that the brewery did not get permission from Toho to use the name, and then when Toho demanded they halt the usage, the brewery refused. So here's a quote from Toho's attorney. It was Toho's preference to resolve this matter without a lawsuit, but unfortunately, the defendant's cavalier and intentional disregard for Toho's intellectual property have made legal action necessary. The brewing company claims that they have yet to be served a lawsuit and that they cannot comment, other than this one quote from their president, which is, "We filed for the trademark immediately after we put it into use, and we're waiting for the results from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Not sure why they filed this before that ruling."
They are using a likeness of Mecha Godzilla
on the can, yeah.
I'm kind of with the Godzilla people on this.
Yeah,
it is their
absolutely.
thing.
Have them just throw a hop grenade on that damn thing,
and it'll be fine. Yeah. By the way, does anybody else remember the Creature double feature? Am I the only one who remembers Creature
television
double features? Yeah, like midday every day, or maybe it was just like Saturdays.
Like Godzilla every day.
When I was a kid, it was always a Creature double feature, and you got two like.
Sounds like a pervert puppet show.
It was like Japanese Godzilla movies.
Yeah, you got Mothra.
Yeah, Gamera.
Yeah,
it was only on the East Coast though.
No, I used to watch it in L.A.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I lived down in Whittier. That's right.
And Rodan.
Anyway,
wow.
First of all, I have a hard time with the name, but that's only because JP and I have gone on record as hating names that use hop in them. Like,
it's popular. It's so popular to use hop puns.
But whatever, fine. They kind of came up with a semi-clever name with Mecha Hopzilla. But then to go and I'm looking at the can, and it's Mecha Godzilla's likeness on the can.
Exactly right.
I mean, I think that's a trademark violation.
Yeah, they're douchey.
Clearly.
Not that Toho's making a bunch of money. Well, maybe they are making a bunch of money still on Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. There's Godzilla shit everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So what happened to the old days when we would have called them up right now?
Yeah.
And gave them shit.
I don't know what happened.
Let's do it.
What's weird though is it's not the first
We turned into
beer.
fuzzies.
It's not the first U.S. beer that uses Godzilla's name. There was Cascazilla from Ithaca Beer Company. There was Dogzilla from Laughing Dog.
Well, Zilla doesn't necessarily mean
you're
using the name.
They're taking off on that, but did they have a picture of Godzilla on their?
Yeah, I wonder if it's the name. I mean, because you're right. There's a lot of Zillas, and that's the problem too. Like, it doesn't mean they're okay with all those Zillas. It means they can't afford to sue everybody.
All the Zillas.
But maybe this was like
You sound like such a retard.
The double, like the logo and the name is maybe just too much for them to bear.
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple other pictures of other Zilla beers, and I don't see any pictures of. So maybe it's the image.
All right,
but anyway,
else?
We'll see what happens. Last one. I've reported a little bit on the fact that New York used to be a big hops growing region, and now it's not. But New York's expanding craft beer industry has prompted increasing numbers of the state's farmers to start growing hops. And in 1880, it was a big industry there. It's like 40,000 acres of hops that grew in New York State. Mostly upstate. But the grows were gone by 1920. There was a big mold epidemic and then, Prohibition. And there have not been any commercial hop farmers there since. But as of about 10 years ago, it started going up from 5 acres of hops statewide 10 years ago to now 140 acres under cultivation, worked by at least 100 new hop farmers in the last 2 years. And that's expected to grow to over 200 acres by next spring. which, I mean, it reflects the craft breweries there. They have 140 craft breweries now, compared with 38 in 2003.
Well, that sounds like the bee's knees. Don't you think, Moscow?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Hops back in New York.
Yeah, the farmers are planting more hops, and the state's brewers are, obviously still buying the vast majority of their hops from the Pacific Northwest and Europe. And the thing is there's a crazy startup cost if you want to get started. You're talking like $12,000 to $16,000 per acre, including trellises that cost about $5,000 to $6,000 a piece. There's a German machine that harvests the hop vines. It goes for about $40,000, and it generally takes at least 3 years before you're getting robust enough crops to, have a business. So it's prohibitive startup costs, but a lot of people are doing it. So hopefully it continues to prosper there in New York.
I can't believe we're back to promoting the German machine already. It seemed like enough time has passed.
I say we buy one and then blow it up.
Do you think I can buy stock in IG Farben? Are they still around? All right, that's the news brought to you by Rodall Performance. Awesome beer companion accessories. They make long-lasting and high-quality stuff for your car and for your beer. Go check them out, rodallperformance.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful beer news segment today, Moscow.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to make a note on this piece of ticker tape and give it to you, Scott. Hold on. Okay, there you go.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you know what we're going to do? Schumann is back in the studio, so we'll talk to him about being engaged. Also, we're going to play a variation of What's in Schumann's Mouth. It's now just called What's in My Mouth, where we are going to taste blindly. How many different beers do we have, Moscow?
5.
5 different beers, and we're going to have to try to name what beer they are and which one is the craft beer. So 4 of them will be essentially domestic lagers. So you're going to have to go back to your old taste buds.
Mega beer.
And see if you can remember what they taste like. Hang in there. It's The Session. When we come back, all that and more, What's in My Mouth? We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Williams Brewing announces their first customer recipe issue since 1991. This free 64-page catalog includes 27 of the best home brewing recipes submitted by their regular customers. Best of all, this paper-only catalog is free for the asking. Just go to williamsbrewing.com and click on the free customer recipe issue link. This offer expires October 18th. While you are on the site, check out some of the latest exclusives like the Williams Oatmeal Stout Malt Extract, the Big Oxygen System, and they even have their own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse their vast selection and enjoy their famous customer service. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
No, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com. Did you know, the Brewing Network's very own Code Writing Fool's son, Ryan Wolf, has opened a beer mecca in Missouri. The Wolfbrow House of Beer has hundreds of beers from all over the world and is conveniently close to I-70 in St. Peters. Free tastings Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. featuring special guests from local breweries. The best build-your-own six-pack around with every style represented. And kegged craft beer available for your kegerator too. There's always something new at the Wolfbrow House of Beer. New and hard-to-find beer every week. No two visits are the same. Just like passing out at the Rat Pad.
Hi, this is Ryan from Wolfbrow House of Beer. Mention the Brewing Network when you stop in for some cool free stuff. Mention JP for a swift kick in the ass.
The Wolfbrow House of Beer. Beer with personal service from a member of the BN Army.
This is Code. Visit my son's shop or I'll yank the BN website down.
www.wolfbrow.com. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And hop drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we
first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls.
Marquis, stop. Look!
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome! The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping.
Well, yeah, but...
the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
Yeah. I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
You're listening to The
Session.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, suck.
Okay, welcome back to the program. We're finishing up here. We thought we'd bring back an oldie but a goodie, and that is, it used to be what's in Schumann's mouth. If you're from the old school BN days, you know, we literally used to shove random things in Schumann's mouth, and he would have to guess what they were. Sometimes that would be beer, but most often not. But we thought we'd adapt it a little bit.
And it was not really always on the air.
Right. I didn't know we were adapting it. I just wanted to see Schumann, so I booked the bit.
Right. Well, now we're doing What's in My Mouth, and everybody here is going to tell us what's in their mouth. And here's what we've done. We just thought this would be a fun little palate challenge for us, especially, beer snobs and beer nerds who, like to poo-poo big American lager and different beers like that, and say they can tell craft beer every time, and et cetera, et cetera. So I've done this before. Back on Free FM, when I had our radio show on Free FM, I did this to a couple of prominent Bay Area craft brewers, and I will admit they failed miserably. So here's what we've got in front of each of us, and feel free to go ahead and taste and write down as I'm speaking, so we're not doing a bunch of tasting on the air.
Doc's about to puke.
For everybody.
God.
There are 5 beers in front of each of us.
I can't do the 5th one.
We can't really see the colors of them. They're in paper cups, actually. Very high class. Of the 5 beers, only one of them is a craft beer. But what we'd like each of you to do, and myself included in the studio here, is to write down which of these beers you think each one is. The cups are numbered, of course. Among them, there's Miller Genuine Draft.
Okay.
There is also...
How is it draft if it's in a bottle?
It's genuine.
Oh, okay. Good answer, by the way.
Like kosher. How do you know it's kosher?
Yeah.
You say it is.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't genuine, I could understand your question. The next beer in your lineup among them is an old favorite of JP's, Coors Banquet.
Ooh,
it's a new favorite, not even an old favorite.
Coors B is what I call it.
You're also going to find among those beers a little bit of Old English 800.
Odie.
A little OE.
8-ball.
Odie.
Odie.
Everybody knows it.
God, I remember cutting my teeth on this in the 6th grade.
Well, they look good now.
Explains a lot.
Man.
6th grade?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, brother.
Also among this fantastic lineup of American light lagers, you're going to find PBR.
Yes, my boy.
And to round out the bunch and see if we can pick out the craft brewed lager, I'm not going to even say that it's an American light lager, because it's not. But it is a craft brewed lager, and it is of the yellow persuasion, and it's about the closest that we could get.
JP just spit beer out his nose. Is that bad, Chip? Oh, he's like about to puke.
And
I don't even want to go for second sips here.
The craft beer among us is Oscar Blues Little Yellow Pills. Little Yellow Pills. You find that in the bright yellow can and on tap, and a pretty popular beer. In fact, I like it quite a bit, so I hope I can pick it out. Because I'll buy a Little Yellow Pills when I see it on tap.
I was looking at Jack's card over here, and I thought he wrote Little Yellow Piss.
Jack, of course, from Lost Coast Brewery, is hanging out with us tonight, just chilling, and we thought we'd put him to the challenge as well.
Why not?
He's already got his listed out. The only one who knows which beers are which is Moscow.
I got it. Done.
So,
Done.
All right, why don't you do this? Since at least two of you have your lists written down, Moscow is going to interview you, each of you, and get to the bottom of that in a sort of slow fashion so the rest of us can get through our beers, Moscow. So let's go ahead and start with JP and interrogate him on which ones he thinks they are. And I don't know, fuck it, why? As long as you don't have to be too long-winded, but go for it.
Ooh, wait, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me rethink it.
You thought you knew it?
What's throwing me is the paper cups.
Because you can't see color?
No, I never see color to begin with. I'm pretty progressive. But it's just that the taste. They all have the underlying paper cup taste.
Is that? Are you serious?
Well, I don't think that's the cup.
Yeah.
Does anyone else get that? A paper taste? Is that a thing?
No.
Yeah, it is paper. It's oxidized beer. But
are you getting it now? You don't know what you're getting.
I'm not getting enough that it's hiding any flavor in the beer. I don't.
All right, Chip. Let's start with you got 5 in your hand. So start with 5.
I think 5 is Coors B, baby.
Should I say whether he's right or not?
No.
Oh no. I guess we should go through the rest of you first. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then what do you think? Number 4.
I think 4 is Old English. I've never had it before.
No.
I've never had it. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty awesome that way.
It's got a big burn.
Yeah, it's very intense and very
8%
unbalanced.
Yeah, you wanted more bang for your buck because when you're trying to, get the bum to buy you a 6-pack.
But they were tall cans, really, usually.
We had the bottles.
Yeah.
The
the 40.
Yeah.
The 40 bottles, yeah.
What about number 3, Jip?
I think that's PBR.
All right.
That's what I think. That's what I feel.
Well, why? Let's start with, let's ask why.
Why?
Yeah, why? Why is that different than 5? Why'd you say 5 was Coors and 3's PBR? What are you using to tell
Because
the difference?
PBR to me has a bit more of a popcorn flavor to it. And I think I get that out of PBR. I was confused. At first, I had 5 as PBR, but then I switched it after everything started tasting the same.
All right, number 2.
Number 2 I had is Little Yellow Pills. Because it seemed a little more hoppy to me. It had a little more hop bite and kind of a roundness in the hopness.
And then, did you use process of elimination for 1, or had you guessed it beforehand?
No, I'm sorry. I had guessed it beforehand. I had guessed it beforehand. Yeah, it's MGD. That's what I have. Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Tasty Cakes? Number 5.
I had that as PBR. Not sure why.
Would you call it a blind guess, or did you have a reasoning?
I just like it had more of a crisp bite to it, like I know PBR has. More of a, I don't know, a little more moral character than the other light lagers.
All right,
I agree with that.
Number 4.
Number 4, I have the Old English, of course. That's
because
so the alcohol burn. And it tastes like shit, which. It's the first thing you get, then it just burns all the way down.
Does that have the most alcohol?
I keep retasting these just to try to make myself.
Because you want to try to get it right. That's why. Even though it's kind of torture.
Yeah.
Hey, this just
tastes
beer
like an alcohol bomb to me. Yeah.
So both heat and flavor more than all the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay. What about number 3?
3 is the Coors Banquet.
And number 2.
I have is the Oscar Blues Little Pills.
Okay, and then 1.
What's left? Oh, the Miller Genuine Draft MGD.
All righty. What about you, Jack? Let's start with 5.
5 is Coors Banquet. And number 4, growing up in Oakland, I knew it was a malt liquor right away. So I knew that was I knew that was Old English. I used to sell a lot of that to homeless people. So,
like just out of the trunk of your car, or what?
At the liquor store I worked at.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just checking.
About number 3,
PBR, and then 2 was the process of elimination because one of the first things I used to drink, actually, when I was about 18, was MGD because that's what my dad drank. So I knew MGD right away. So by process of elimination, 2 was Little Yellow Pills.
So which one did you call MGD?
The first one.
Jack and I are right on par here.
See, I thought I'd recognize MGD right away too, because I used to drink a lot of it. I don't think I did. I got a different one than you guys though, but I didn't recognize it. I thought I'd recognize it, and I didn't. I took a stab.
Yeah.
That's definitely one I thought that's going to be on my palate, but it wasn't. Go ahead. Is that it?
Yeah, that's Jack. Let's go to Schumann. What's in Schumann's mouth?
Now, Schumann still drinks American Light Lager, and so my hope was he'd come in here and dominate and know the craft beer and know the different American Light Lagers. We'll see how it goes.
Well, before I begin, I just want to say how excited I am. I have a lot of shit in my mouth. I want to thank all of you very much.
I just want to thank God for allowing me to be here.
Do you think that
I thank God every day.
Now that you're engaged to be married, games like What's in Schumann's Mouth are going to fall by the wayside?
No, but I can be a lot more secretive about it.
That's true.
Yeah, the answer is always going to be the same anyway at this point forward.
So. For example, right now Schumann is at his men's book club.
Right.
Right.
He's not at the show.
She knows I can't read good, so...
It's the men's learn how to read club.
Yeah. It's not the men's reading club. It's the men's book club.
Yeah, well, for Schumann,
Someone bring a book.
What did you learn tonight, Schumann? Go ahead. Do you have your list ready for us, Schumann?
I do.
Okay, Moscow.
Let's start with 5.
5. I tasted 5 as a Coors. I grew up on Coors Light.
That's my boy.
I know when I taste the Rockies. You know.
Yeah.
I'll do number 4 is Old English. I think it's by far got the strongest aroma, and you can smell malt liquor.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 3.
I put 3 as yellow something.
Yeah, little yellow something. I think they're all little yellow something. Yeah,
it will be soon.
And I kind of did that by process of elimination. I watched Doc, and he seemed to gag less on number 3.
Right.
So I thought it might be a good choice.
I gagged, and I don't think this is because of whatever number 4 is. Yeah. Just by the time I got to number 4,
right,
is when I started gagging too. I had a little trouble.
So about number 2,
I thought I had a little taste of triple hopping in number 2, so I picked MGD.
Okay.
Wow.
Was that by process of lamination?
Yeah. Yeah.
Laminate.
And then I picked 1 as PBR.
I think I'm different than everybody. I think I might have failed miserably at this one.
What did you think 5 was, Jay?
I put 5 as MGD.
Yeah.
Now, hearing Schumann confess that he can taste the Rockies in number 5, and when I went back and tasted it, I think he's right, but I didn't want to cheat because I would have had an unfair advantage that I listened to everybody's things. So I kept my vote the same, but I think Shu might be right. That's why I'm worried I failed. But anyhow, I put MGD as number 5. Number 4, the OE. I agree with everybody. It's the most offensive one.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. It wasn't OE, but the last time I did this test with a craft brewer, we snuck in Colt 45.
Nice.
And that was chosen as the craft beer, actually, because it had more body. Not because it was offensive like this OE is, but it just had more body.
Is there a huge difference between Colt 45 and OE?
Evidently.
No.
Save that for another What's in My Mouth. We'll have to do a full Mickey's
all malt
OE.
liquors, 5 different malt liquors would be perfect. I can't wait.
Okay.
It's on.
Number 3, PBR. Number 2, I'm with everybody else on Little Yella, or most everybody else. I thought that was Little Yella, which leaves Coors Banquet being number 1. But like I said, I think I might have mixed up. If nothing else, I might have mixed them all up. If I were to switch them, I'd switch number 1 with 5. Everything else, it's just a guess anyway.
Right.
But I'll leave them as they are.
All right. You guys want to know how you did?
We got to do Doc.
Wait, we got to get Doc.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Doc.
Soulless bastard. I'm a little queasy, so bear with me. I was with you, Justin, almost the whole way through.
Okay.
5 MGD.
Okay.
4 Odie, big time. I mean, I had a flashback to 1972.
That was probably the Burning Man coming back through your blood real quick. But anyway.
3 was the PBR. Then when we changed it, 2 was the Coors Banquet, and 1 was the Little Yellow Piss.
Okay. You know, and they're all. I wonder if anybody's spot on because they're all stabs.
I'm the right one.
Yeah,
100%.
Okay.
Let me clarify, Doc. You got the Oscar Blues as 1.
Yeah, Yellow Blues. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
now, before we reveal,
that feels like the BN Army where nobody can get it right. The BN in Army, the brewing militia.
We're not good at this.
The little Brella Bills.
Yeah. The blue one. Yeah.
I hope we were almost unanimous on the yellow pills, right?
Yep.
In the voting.
And the Odie.
And the Odie.
No.
Yeah.
The part of me who likes good radio hopes that we're wrong on the little yellow pills. The part of me who wants to know that we at least have some inkling of knowing what the fuck we're doing hopes to hell that the little yellow pills is in fact number 2.
It is.
When you're doing all light lagers like this, I do not. It makes me really not envy the BJ's, not the judges at the Great American Beer Festival, because they do end up tasting so similar. I mean, that's the style. And they're so light and you're really looking for the most subtle nuances to pick out the best one or the different one. So I definitely have a lot of appreciation for the guys at GABF sitting at the light lager table.
Well, just saying, these are warm and in paper cups.
Just like I used to drink them in high school. So,
are there any tips that we can give people to how to differentiate if they are judging this style?
I don't think we should give out any tips until we find out how we did, because you might not want to listen to a word.
Well, that's why I'm asking now.
You might want to hear.
We were just trying to guess the beer. I didn't even think about which one was better than the other.
True. Wait. Now that's true too. We weren't looking for the quality. We're working on like palate memory too. Like I'm trying to remember when I had a PBR.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know
more often,
or not apparently.
Okay.
All right. Let's get the reveal.
All right. The actual order. 1 was Miller.
Wait, do it slow.
Oh, yeah.
MGD.
Yeah, okay.
2 was Little Yellow Pill.
Oh, thank God for us in our career.
Doc missed that.
That's okay.
I find that worthy of note. Number 3 was PBR.
Okay.
Number 4 was the OD. You guys all got that one. And that leaves Coors as number 5.
Is that a perfect score for the Jip?
And for Jack.
Wow, and for Jack.
I nailed it.
You did, and you knew you nailed it.
Of course I did. It's not hard to do. It's easy.
So you really are spending the week drinking American light lagers.
Yeah, I like
different
Coors
kinds.
Banquet. I really do.
Apparently you know all the other ones too, though.
Well, I mean,
if I'd have known Coors, I would have got them too. But I got the Coors and PBR switched.
MGD, I don't know from nothing. So that was the process of lamination.
Okay.
At first, I did have the Coors and the PBR switched, and at the last minute, I changed them.
That's a tough one. Coors and PBR is tough.
It was very tough.
Plus, usually you were drinking them through aluminum cans too, so this flavor is completely thrown off.
But I mean,
in my defense, it was usually through a plastic funnel and a hose coming out of it. So maybe had we shoved it down my throat in rapid fashion, like what's in Schumann's mouth.
What, we're talking about the beer?
Well, and
it was very. They were very hard. Like to me, the PBR has a little more of the popcorny flavor, and Coors Banquet is a little more smooth. It's the triple hop that kind of.
I think you should sit at the JBF table for American Light Lager.
Too.
I'm not joking.
Give me an invite. I'll do it right now.
I think that you've got a qualified palate.
I'll
and
go
Jack
right now.
too. Have you judged at JBF before?
The GABF? No, I've judged a couple competitions.
It sounds like you should. Maybe apply for punish yourself and apply for American Light Lager table. Well, Doc, you're welcome for me putting you through that. Those were rough. Oh my God! At least we all got the craft beer, right?
So, no, Doc missed it.
Well, almost all. That's okay. Yeah.
Just the gold medal NHC brewer. He missed it. And as usual, Schumann has no idea what's in his mouth. He only got 2.
Ah, damn it, Chew. I thought you were going to beat our... Which ones did he get right?
Put them in cans.
He got the Coors right?
He got the Odie, and he got the... and then he got the Coors.
Yeah. So he can, in fact, taste the Rockies. And he
in his mouth.
I can and I will.
And he got the 8-ball.
I must.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, good game, everybody. Well done. JP and Jack, extremely well done. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Turns out Jack also drinks American Light Lager all week long.
High honors right there.
There's nothing wrong with drinking American Light Lagers.
Did you enjoy the tasting, JP?
No, I did not.
Well, then there's something wrong with drinking American Light Lagers. Did you enjoy the Coors Banquet that you recognized?
I did not. I'm not in the right mood for it.
Okay. Or the PBR?
No, I didn't enjoy any of them, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah, even the Little Yellow Pills, which I enjoy the beer. I mean, there's 3 beers there that I enjoy, and I didn't enjoy any of them tonight, which is kind of makes me a hypocritical guy, but kind of not at the same time.
What is the right mood for you to enjoy a PBR? Or setting?
You turn the lights down low.
Anal.
Yeah. Light a candle.
Rose petals on the ground.
Yeah. Shave my beehole. I don't know.
Tattooed or something.
Yeah, like, hanging out at the pool or hot day, barbecuing.
Yeah, getting a blowjob. Like, what wouldn't be good in that scenario, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like a black IPA would be terrible in that scenario. A barley wine would be terrible at 2 p.m, poolside at 100 degrees. That'd be the worst thing you could ever do in yourself.
Or tailgating at a football game.
Right.
I don't see what a black guy from Pennsylvania has anything to do with it.
Well, you should try hanging out with one. By the way, Terrace sent me this email token. Yeah, you send a link to something have to do with a guest we just had on, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It was a link, and then underneath, people go sent from my iPhone, or they make up clever things. His says sent from your iPad. Like, what the fuck? You stole my iPad and you sent me a note on it? You're rubbing it in my...
I like it.
He's a black guy.
I get it.
Okay. Good night.
Saying he stole it?
All right. I want to mention a sponsor who's come back around, and a good friend of ours out in Australia. Grain and Grape is back around and sponsoring the Brewing Network. And I know he's been a friend of yours for quite some time, JP. He's been a friend of the Brewing Network over the past couple of years. You can go to grainandgrape.com.au for our Australian listeners, and know that you've got a homebrew shop in Australia supporting your favorite show. They do all sorts of things at Grain and Grape, including free all-grain demos. They've got 90 varieties of malted barley, so you can really make all the beer that you need to. They've been supplying brewers in Australia for over 20 years. John's been doing that. And, he doesn't look a day over, what?
12.
Yeah.
12-ish.
So
I was thinking 13, but...
He's very small and young.
And, he's a handsome young man. But he's been doing this for over 20 years, John. He's also been actively sponsoring homebrew competitions and conferences across Australia. I know he has a big hand in the National Homebrewers Conference of Australia. Every year. He's brought out Jamil and John Palmer and things like that. So
John Palmer.
Heavily involved in the brewing scene there. They're making fresh wort kits right there at the homebrew shop. Did you read that?
I did, with the Braumeister.
Yeah, they've got the Braumeister system. It's a 500-liter Braumeister, and they actually are making the wort and extract ultimately there, so that their extract is brewed fresh on premise.
We could probably make some of these fine light lagers in front of me.
That's right.
These are. I think these are different. They actually make the wort, so you can come in and you can buy wort from them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
It's
even
an all-grain batch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so.
fantastic.
I think it's just the base malt, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's just the base.
Oh, then you add your own...
I think you can steep your own grains.
then you take and put it back in your kettle and heat it up and
Uh-huh.
steeps and gains?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, my God, I love that.
It's pretty cool.
Why can't somebody do that for my lazy ass out here?
Well,
I'll give you $2
You still find a way to fuck it up.
JP, if you make wort for me. $2.
$2? Seriously?
Not including what it costs you for propane or ingredients.
And a 6-pack PBR.
That's fine. I mean, that's cost of doing business. Because hopefully soon I'll make like $2.50 and then $3, and then who knows? I'll be up to $5 a week. I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
Yes. All right. Mention the BN and get half off shipping. Go to grainandgrape.com.au and see our friends out there and take care of them. They're taking care of this show.
So what's half off shipping to Martinez?
I don't think we'll get it in the U.S.
Still a bunch.
I should probably clarify. It's probably half off shipping within
domestic,
the continental continent of Australia,
and New Zealand.
Yeah, maybe out. Maybe 10 yards offshore, but that's as far as it goes.
International waters, you're on your own.
I'm out. Okay. So there you have it. Do we have our finalists for the Twitter game, JP?
Yes, sir. So the Twitter game...
Which was,
what did the BN get Chad for his wedding?
Ah, yes.
Yes. Friend John Indish says, nothing. You just finally have kept Tasty away from his wife and mom.
Away from Chad's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the gift was keeping him away from Chad's wife and Chad's mom.
They're both pretty hot.
Got it.
Yeah.
They look the same.
Our good friend Nico Brew wrote all applicable back pay.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, of course we didn't do that.
Well,
no.
Nico lives in a fantasy world where men can wear
applicable.
Well, that's...
Okay, then maybe he's right.
Yeah.
Let's get him that.
Oh, maybe he is right.
Andrew Ignatz wrote WD-40 to lube the windows so Crazy Bitch can sneak in quietly when Mrs. Shat stops putting out next week.
That's a good one.
Next week.
They are on their honeymoon this week, so that's might be that's pretty close.
Yeah,
pretty good, right?
blowies are done, buddy.
Wayne Perry wrote a homemade Kama Sutra guide full of tasty selfies.
That was expensive to make, by the way.
And Jeff Carlson says a bread maker.
Huh. Well, the last three are good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah. Oh, fuck it. We got prizes to give away. They all win. All of the last three. How about that?
Yay!
Wow, that's easy to do.
We got stuff to give away.
We do?
Yeah.
Like
All
what?
right.
Good job. Those were all good.
Can you
I
mention it
can't
on
pick
air?
between those.
All right, email me at jp@thebrewingnetwork.com with your shirt sizes, and if you want a shirt for your ladies, give me their size and some photos.
And we'll subtract one size. So it's tight.
What kind of photos? Just like
landscapes. I'm pretty into landscapes right now.
You got to be able to judge the bra size at least.
Yeah.
just some Polaroids of the garden.
Yeah, or just what your interior paint is like.
Yeah, if the drapes match the curtains.
See if she mows the lawn.
All right, before we go, as you're sitting there having yourself a fine time listening to the Brewcasters, don't forget to head on over to adamandeve.com and think about spicing things up in the bedroom. For a limited time only, if you use coupon code BNARMY, you can get just about any item for 50% off. I got some emails like, oh, this item wasn't 50% off. Well, it clearly states it's just about any item, and there is a lot of them.
Just not the one you ordered.
I mean, every one that I've searched through was 50%.
And ordered.
So I don't. Maybe you're looking at things that aren't common or that require extra manufacturing.
An extra small butt plug.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe you should stop being such a fucking pervert.
Yeah, but just about any item, 50% off. And then you'll get 3 free adult DVDs from genres such as...
Oh, I like big black women.
And I cannot lie. Mother was denied. When a girl borrows a wallet, then steals my car, and I go to the cops and get found.
What?
Get found again. Then I get it back, and then I go to Oakland. What?
That is not how the song goes.
It's the remix.
And it's not even the remix.
No, not the words.
And that's not
Hey,
how
Jack, what's your favorite genre?
Favorite what?
Genre.
For porn.
It doesn't have to be your favorite. You can call out somebody else if you want.
I just like to finish, okay?
Jack's never done this segment with us.
Maybe that's a good one.
You don't have to tell the truth.
Let him answer the question.
Go ahead.
Little Asian girls.
There you go. That's definitely a category on Adam and Eve.
Try to find the big ones.
But little ones.
It also goes along with the show. The show's theme tonight. It's not Asian girls, but Asia. Tazy?
Redheads. I'm a big fan of the redheads.
There you go. All sorts of genres. 3 free adult DVDs, plus free shipping, plus a free extra gift. So sensual, we can't talk about it.
Can't mention it on the air.
Can't mention it. Can't. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Way too sensitive.
Why would we want to?
That's all we have.
Just be honest.
Coupon code BNARMY over at Adam and Eve. It's no joke. You can get some good stuff for free, and you don't have to go to that creepy store down the street from Tasty.
Yeah, you need scented lube. You
Yeah.
go there.
Is there a Hello Kitty category?
You know,
I'll bet there is.
Asian.
It might.
Jack already said it.
Oh no, it's the hentai anime
It's tune
thing.
porn. No, tune porn.
I've seen a couple of hentai vids before.
Yeah.
They get gnarly.
That was my first porn.
Oh yeah, because nobody gets hurt.
I don't like them
Nobody
because
gets scale.
they
gets hurt.
They all look like they look like monsters. Like
Yeah.
they make the dudes look like monsters.
Yeah.
Oh
They
yeah.
are. And well, I mean, think about it. Men are monsters, and women
I
are
see.
delicate
Little flowers.
flowers with big
Yeah.
eyes. They're wide-eyed. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh my god!
Where'd that come from?
Being pillaged here.
I mean, it's crazy.
That's the way they treat them there.
And then you got to read the subtitles, and who wants to do that?
This story is.
Oh no! You have you have Kate read those for you.
No, I see.
With that big dick in the way.
Are you a reptile?
Oh, I'm a rake tile.
What?
I don't know.
That's part of the anime story.
It is.
Mecha Godzilla.
Riptile 7.
Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah. All right, there you go. I think I have taken care of all of my contractual obligations and then some. All right, next week there is no show because we are off to the Northern California Homebrew Festival, and we'll be partying there. You can come see Tasty and myself, and a bunch of other BNers I know will be out there. I think our friend Nico Brew is going to be out there. You can see him hanging out, and the Woods will be there. It's the NorCal Homebrewers Festival. So we'll be off next week, but back the week after. Who do we have then?
That's going to be Round Guys Brewing with Scott Rudich, and we're going to hear the explanation behind the exploding cans at NHC. He's responsible for those bad boys.
Okay.
When are we going to have the Norco Brewing brewing festival.
Have you ever been to Norco? That's where Kauschwitz is, right?
Oh,
I thought it was a drug.
no, it's a bad part of
It's
the
both.
state.
Actually, it is also a drug, and which is a good thing.
Yes.
And then it's where Kauschwitz is, where
It's also a concentration camp, isn't it?
for cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just clarifying.
Yeah. Kauschwitz.
So then by definition, cows are kosher.
On I-5?
right?
On I-5.
Yeah, you drive down and just
Cowitz.
see a
They call it
sea of
Cowitz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harris Ranch.
Yes.
It's almost-
is it Harris Ranch?
That's Harris Ranch.
Oh, I didn't know it was Harris. Oh,
Yes.
I can stop buying Harris Ranch. It's just gnarly.
Why? Because they kill cows?
No,
Those
because
dicks.
it's an enormous, disgusting
It is.
feedlot.
You can smell it. For miles.
They're like knee deep in their own shit.
Oh, yeah, and there's no
Constantly.
There's no vegetation anywhere around. They got-
Yeah, for
they're
like-
all-
Well, yeah, because they eat it all.
Well, but they stomp it all down. They're just huddled around those feed bins.
And the sewage just spreads for miles.
Yeah.
It's a gnarly
Roll up the
feedlot.
windows, turn off the air conditioning.
You're all about
It's
it?
bad.
That's what happens. I'm not. It doesn't faze me.
I'm going there for my honeymoon.
Yeah.
So would you call it Doc Cow?
God.
That's good. That was good, Doc. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I feel like I had one other thing to do. I'm looking around and I'm not finding it.
Yeah, you saw something shiny and you just lost it, didn't
Any
you?
deals in the store?
No, I guess
Buy
that's
stuff
it.
from the store. We did. That's well, a lot of our shirts, our men's shirts, are all on sale, and
Oh,
the
we got a
women's
sale?
shirts are all on
Nice.
sale.
Yeah, we've got a
Continuing sale.
an all new store with all new merchandise opening up in just a few days. And in the meantime, we're purging our old stuff. So you should get it now. It's on sale at a great price, and JP's shipping fast.
No,
so
I'm shipping.
Oh.
The Warheads are officially sold out for the second time.
Wow.
Because I found some stock and then they sold out. So they will be, as soon as we get the new store up and running, we already have an order placed. We're going to have some awesome new ones. Talking about this tactical black one. It's sick.
Nice.
Hella sick.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's bomb.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
today.
Thanks to Jack from Lost Coast for hanging out, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
My
you coming.
pleasure.
Stop by anytime. We'll give you light lager.
And malt liquor.
Yeah.
Malt liquor.
And make us talk to you about your sexual weird habits.
Little Asian women.
Thanks.
Specifically the
Oh, we
ones
know.
from 4'6" to 4'8".
Yeah, what a freak.
I know, right? Who is this dude?
Just kidding, Jack. You should hear the things we
I don't
like.
mind.
Take us out, JP. We'll see you next time.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. If you can't get enough of cats, Disneyland, and self-loathing, follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip. Scott's on Twitter as well when he's not painting seascapes. Follow him at Moscow Paints. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Tonight's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP dominated in tonight's drinking game. Your chat mod and lover of all things Asian has been Susie, and your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook and Twitter.